And here it is, ding dong. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is, ding dong. Sorry, I'm just reading the ridiculous comment by one of the ridiculous people on this platform. So roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is, ding dong. Here I am, ding dong. The session has commenced and your company is required. That thing happens twice a day. It didn't happen twice a day yesterday, but almost certainly it will do today. So apologies. You know the sessions can be quite grueling sometimes. We do long and involved sessions. So I'm sure you understand why I take a little bit of an intermission. So intermission taken now. I'm back with a bang. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. Holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving fast now. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right, getting moving fast, for freedom. Is another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. Holy, 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 Olumegojuku is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. ụwa dịka ya bika kọkwa na m n'ụwa. Ana m ekele Maazị Uche Mefo, nwanne.
And there it is right there. Deba deba da Utemefo. So there it is. The Holy Holy song from the space formerly known as Eastern Nigeria, now redubbed by the natives as Biafra land. So holy, holy, holy. So holy, holy, as guys, I bring you this. Nigerians react as United Nations tell Buhari government to release Nnamdi Kanu. So this was a diet that we were feasting not gluttonously on this platform. We never thought it would come to an end. Uh, we couldn't really get past a session without an Nnamdi Kanu story. But for the last several months now, the Nnamdi Kanu story has dissipated, just as we anticipated, by the way, that the agitation space will yield to the elections, and it has yielded to the elections. But it looks as though it resurfaces now the Nnamdi Kanu narrative via the United Nations. United Nations tell Nigeria to unconditionally release, compensate Nnamdi Kanu. So quite what is in play there, and what consequence there to follow, all of that up for discussion. Naira falls continue, now 658 Naira to the dollar. So this is a storyline that we have been tracking on this platform. Just the last time, it was 2 days ago, by the way, the last time we did a story, pardon me, the last time we did a story on the Naira was 2 days ago, and we were lamenting that the Naira had fallen to 620 Naira to the dollar. Well, if you were alarming then, now you should be banging your heads on the table. Naira now 658 Naira to the dollar. So that is a 38 Naira, near 40 Naira depreciation in the Naira within 2 days. 2 days. Because anybody that follows this platform would attest. Just 2 days ago, we were lamenting 620. We were lamenting. Fast forward 2 days later, 658 now, a near 40 Naira differential. So there it is right there. So I'm not taking any bets anymore that the Naira will be trading for 1,000 Naira to the dollar before the end of the year. I might well increase that by another 100, maybe 1,100 before the end of the year. We are investigating People's Gazette. We are investigating People's Gazette over petition involving ex-army chief Burutai. So that's the Nigerian police. So a lot of you, of course, following, you'll recall that storyline of how the newspapers exposed how Burutai was looting and then packing in raw cash monies meant for the army and weaponry in his house, buying G-Wagons and stocking foreign currency in strong vaults and safes. So this was busted, I think, by the ICPC or EFCC, one of them. So they busted him, and that expose, of course, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars was exposed. So now the newspaper that carried that narrative now, Burutai, has ordered the killing of the editor of that newspaper. We are investigating People's Gazette over petition involving ex-army chief Burutai, Nigerian police. So what the petition is, I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. So soon enough, we'll find this out as well. I am having to abandon some stories because I think I may well have too many stories lined up. So let me abandon a couple and bring you this. Our court refuses to accept Governor Umahi as senatorial candidate in 2023 elections. Orders fresh poll. So we'll find out what that means. If they order a fresh poll, it will only seek to represent Umahi again because he has the money, of course, to rebuy that ticket. Ukraine invasion, European Union to replace gas from Russia with Nigeria's. So this is really one of the most pressing things that the Nigerian state is contending with. So This Ukrainian war is a golden chalice for the Nigerian state. It's a golden chalice. So in that golden chalice is a drink that might well prove to be poisonous for the Nigerian state. So we've been living fat on oil, but the gas that we have, it surpasses the oil that we have 1,000-fold. We are one of the world's richest in gas reserves countries globally. And because of the situation in Russia now, the Europeans are looking to repipe their demands to Nigeria, where the abundance there is of. So now the scramble for that money, of course, is what is going to lead to the. And by the way, it is the scramble for this gas that Buhari was preempting by trying to repopulate the south with these clansmen. So that is why we've been seeing the influx of Fulanis into Yoruba and Igbo land, dislodging the natives and replacing them on their land. So it is part of that gas narrative, and it is also this narrative that lends to the possibility that they will want to hand over to a fellow Fulani man in order to keep a stranglehold on that gas space. So that is conspiracy theory, but do you think I'm being too far-reaching in that? So there is that, and then we land on this. I don't kidnap. I only kill people. Aleru, Zamfara terrorist chief. So a lot of you, of course, would have come across that story of this Zamfara chief, this Zamfara warlord that has been gifted a chieftaincy title in Zamfara by one of the local emirs, who almost certainly a bandit himself. So now he's now in an interview with the BBC boasting that he doesn't even kidnap, he just slaughters people, and that he seems to be. Also, he's looking down at kidnapping. That is his own act is more noble. He just slaughters people. So this is it. This is what we're contending with. The Abokis. So all of that on the menu. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol: as you're coming in, click on the like button. If you're not already subscribed, then please correct that. If you want to come join me live on the screen, click on this hyperlink that I'm posting now. So especially if you're a new voice, click on that hyperlink to come join me live on screen to have a conversation. And please share the link to the platform as well. So copy the link in the URL and post it in your WhatsApp groups, your Facebook groups, etc., so that we can generate a bit more traffic. So all of that task. So as we set about all of those, let me provide you with a little bit of a liquid nourishment with some palm wine drinking.
Water, only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido, hapa o naido, hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido, oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùyé o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Hobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Chief Wailati kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdódò jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Olúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodana ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o. Àrùn kárùn kò ní.
And there it is right there. Ikuku Neru Agbeche, the care guy. Ikuku Neru Agbeche, as guys, I bring you this. United Nations tell Nigeria to unconditionally release and compensate Nnamdi Kanu. The United Nations UN Human Rights Council Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has indicted both Nigeria and Kenya governments for the arrest and extraordinary rendition, torture, and continued detention of the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, without due process. United Nations, therefore, asked Nigerian government to immediately release Kanu unconditionally and pay him adequate compensations for the arbitrary violation of his fundamental human rights. It also recommended that government officials responsible for the torture meted to the IPOB leaders be investigated, IPOB leader be investigated and punished. The United Nations body further directed Nigeria to report back within 6 months of the transmission of its opinion on Kanu's matter, steps taken to comply with all recommendations thereof. It referred the case of Kanu's torture to special rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment or punishment for further consideration. The United Nations Working Group also threatens to take further action to ensure the recommendations are complied with, noting that both Nigeria and Kenya are signatories to the convention and should comply. The 16-page report dated July the 20th, 2022 was adopted on April the 4th by the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention at its 93rd session held between March the 30th and April the 8th, 2022. The unedited version of the document cited by correspondents was marked Opinion Number 25/2022 concerning Nwane Kwenyi Nnamdi Kenny Okuo Kanu, Nigeria and Kenya. The Working Group on Arbitrary Detention was established in Resolution 1999/42 of the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. In accordance with its method of work, the Working Group on December the 30th, 2021, transmitted to the Nigeria and Kenya governments a communication concerning Mr. Kanu. According to the report, Nigeria replied to the communication on January the 25th, 2022, whilst the government of Kenya did not reply. Both countries are party to the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. The working group said in the report that Kanu was a victim of state persecution as Nigeria failed to provide convincing explanation with proof that he is guilty of treason and other criminal allegations leveled against him. Noting the failure of the government to explain what actions of Mr. Kanu amounted to such criminal acts and how, and observing the lack of any evidence that any of his actions may in fact amount to such crimes, the working group concludes that Mr. Kanu is in fact being persecuted for the peaceful exercise of his rights, most notably his freedom of opinion and expression. In the present case, the government of Nigeria has presented no exceptions permitted under Article 19.3 of the Convention, nor is there any evidence to suggest that Mr. Kanu's exercise of his right to freedom of opinion and expression was anything but peaceful. In fact, pardon me. In fact, the government has chosen not to provide any. The government has chosen not to provide any explanation for the arrest, detention, and subsequent proceedings against Mr. Kanu. In these circumstances, the working group concludes that Mr. Kanu's detention is thus arbitrary under Category 2, United Nations Working Group said. The working group also said there was no evidence that international laws were observed in the arrest in the working group also said there was no evidence that international laws were observed in the arrest and rendition of Kanu from Kenya. The 16-page dossier reads in part, in the present case, Mr. Kanu was not furnished with an arrest warrant by Nigerian authorities, nor was he promptly informed of the grounds for his arrest in Nigeria. Consequently, the working group finds that Mr. Kanu's continued deprivation of liberty violates his rights under Article 3 and 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 9 of the Convention, and Principles 2, 4, and 10 of the Body of Principles, and constitutes arbitrary detention under Category 1. Turning to the uncontested allegations that following his rendition to Nigeria, Mr. Kanu remained in pre-trial detention, with his trial having been scheduled to commence on January to commence in January 2022. The working group recalled that it is a well-established norm of international law that pre-trial detention should be the exception rather than the rule, and should be ordered for the shortest possible time. But put differently, liberty is recognized under Article 9.3 of the Convention as the core consideration, with detention merely an exception. Therefore, detention pending trial must be based on an individualized determination that it is reasonable and necessary for such purposes as to prevent flight, interference with evidence, or reoccurrence of crime. So I have to pause and say this. So those exceptions, they actually apply to Kanu if we are being fair and honest, you know. So the first option, because what the United Nations is saying is that the detention, pre-trial detention is an aberration to law, and the only exception that facilitates pre-trial detention, because you should be held for the shortest possible time period, and set free pending your determination by the court, is what the United Nations are saying. But they're saying the only exception to that, it says therefore, detention pending trial must be based on an individualized determination that it is reasonable and necessary for such purposes as to prevent flight. So we know that Nnamdi Kanu is a flight risk because he flew the last time he was granted bail. Interference, so we know there's a high preponderance of that as well. Interference with evidence and reoccurrence of the crime. So all of that wrapped in that exception. Such determination was not carried out in the present case, in violation of Mr. Kanu's right under Article 9.3 of the Convention. Further, in accordance with Article 9.3 of the Convention, an arrested person is to be brought before a judge within 48 hours. This was not satisfied in the case of Mr. Kanu, and the working group therefore finds a violation of Article 3 and 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 9 and 3, Article 9 subsection 3 of the Convention and Principles of the Convention, and Principles 11, 37, and 38 of the Body of Principles. Furthermore, in accordance to the established, furthermore, in order to establish that a determination, sorry, I beg your pardon. Furthermore, in order to establish that a detention is indeed legal, anyone detained has the right to challenge the legality of his or her detention before a court as guaranteed by Article 9.4 of the Convention. The working group wishes to recall that according to the United Nations Basic Principles and Guidelines on Remedies and Procedures on the rights of anyone deprived of their liberty to bring proceedings before a court, the right to challenge the lawfulness of detention before a court is a self-standing human right, which is essential to provide the which is essential to preserve legality in a democratic society. So on and on it goes, but essentially there's still about 10, 20, 30 paragraphs more. So I'm not going to labor all the way through that, but you get the gist of that. So let me just have a let me have a sip of water as I continue to lose my voice. Nigerians react as United Nations tell Buhari government to release Nnamdi Kanu. The directives by the United Nations to the federal government of Nigeria to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has stirred reactions online. Correspondents had earlier reported that the United Nations Human Rights Council Working Group on Arbitrary Detention on Saturday ordered President Mohamed Buhari-led government to release Kanu. The Nigeria and Kenya governments were condemned for the arrest, torture, and continued detention of Kanu without due process. The Buhari administration were also directed to pay the IPOB leader adequate compensations for the arbitrary violation of his fundamental human rights. Kanu is currently in detention of the Department of State Services (DSS) after being charged with offenses on terrorism. Some Nigerians, in their reaction, believe the federal government of Nigeria may not release the IPOB leader despite the directive from the United Nations. So here are some of the commentaries. Real crushing victory. You got it. Biafrans have cause to rejoice. Onyedu is winning. Thank you. The legal teams everywhere. So this is what this person has to say. As we celebrate this victory for the unconditional release of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we all should have it in mind that Nigeria does not obey their own constitutional law, not to talk of the United Nations or any other international law. What will the UN do if Nigeria disobeys this order? Nigeria is ruled by thugs. Great news, but the question now is, will Nigeria government and their DSS listen to this authority? We all know they have a first class in being stubborn and going against the rules. So that's somewhat the tempo of the reaction to that. So let's move on from there as we are alarmed at the Naira continuing to plummet. Naira fall continues, now 658 Naira to the dollar. So there it is right there, 622 days ago. The Nigerian currency has continued to free fall, sinking further to 658 Naira against the United States dollar in the parallel market, according to data from Aboki Forex. Checks by correspondents on Friday showed the current parallel market rate pegged at 658 to the dollar. The Naira, which traded for 620 against the dollar on Monday, 630 on Wednesday, 645 on Thursday, has fallen even further to 658 as of Friday afternoon. According to data from Aboki Forex, a digital platform that informs users of the rates at which different currencies are traded both officially and unofficially. Correspondents had earlier reported that the Naira lost against the dollar on Wednesday as investors and exporters window exchanging for 426.58 to the dollar. So you can see this is round tripping taking place now. So the Fulani cabals at the Aso Rock, they are buying the naira, the dollar for 426 naira from Emefiele, and then they are pumping it to Nigerians at 658. So you can see what is going on there. Uh, the Central Bank of Nigeria, under Godwin Emefiele's leadership, has been unable to stop the free fall of the national currency. On Tuesday, Mr. Emefiele threatened to arrest and prosecute Nigerians who were buying dollars with naira, claiming that doing so was against the law. As a result of the CBN's strict forex policies, many deposit money banks reduced the international spending limit on naira to $20 per month, making it harder for citizens to conduct foreign transactions. The Apex Bank, however, maintains the parallel market does not accurately reflect the country's exchange rate economy. So there is nothing that reflects the exchange rate of any economy under the pardon me, my voice is completely gone by the way, but we'll soldier on. So there is nothing that reflects the state of the balance of an economy other than the parallel market, otherwise known as the black market, because the parallel market is a true picture of the state of the economy. Because what happens in the parallel market is willing buyer, willing seller. So that's what happens. So the parallel market, the abokis who occupy that space, they have a dollar to sell at X rate. So whoever is buying is willing to buy the dollar at that rate. So if the seller is willing to sell at that rate, and the buyer and the tension of the market is willing to buy at that rate, then that is the state of the economy. It is nothing to do with the subsidized rate that is being sold by CBN. Nothing to do with that. Willing buyer, willing seller, and that is what determines really the value of a currency. The Apex Bank, however, maintains the parallel market does not accurately reflect the country's exchange rate economy. Yet, Naira falls from 588 against the American dollar in May to 658 today, as has continued to. Yet, Naira falls from 588 against the American dollar in May to 658 today, has continued to send prices of services and commodities across the country through the roof. So I might well, I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. I might well abandon some of these because I think my voice is struggling somewhat under this. We are investigating People's Gazette over petition involving ex-army chief Burutai, Nigerian police. The Nigerian Police Force Federal Capital Territory Command has denied raiding the head office of People's Gazette newspaper. Policemen had on Friday allegedly raided the head office of the newspaper in Abuja and arrested one of its editors, journalists, and staff members. John Adenikan, an assistant managing editor, was taken away at about 12:35 p.m. by 5 armed police officers who broke into the paper's office opposite NNPC headquarters in Utaku. The officers later returned to the office to arrest 4 other staff members, Adeyemi Grace Oke, Sami Ogbu, and Justina Tayani. But reacting, the FCT Command's Public Relations Officer, DSP Josephine Ade, claimed that journalists and staff members of the newspapers were only invited for questioning over a petition written against them, accusing the paper of defaming the character of former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuka Buratai, retired. According to correspondent, DSP Adair said, our officers did not raid any media house. We don't raid media houses because we know better. Media houses are not criminal hideouts. Someone had written a petition accusing the newspaper of defamation of character. The newspaper was accused of defaming the character of the former chief of army staff to Burutai. However, we got a warrant from the court to invite them for questioning. So the fact of the matter is that there was a petition against People's Gazette and they are not above the law. So, if someone had written a petition against them, the right thing to do is to invite them. And that was what we did. We invited them for further investigation and we carried the Nigerian Union of Journalists along on this matter. We are not taking any actions behind the NUJ, and there is also a warrant from the court to invite People's Gazette for questioning. We have no malicious intent for inviting them. Our officers went to People's Gazette office this morning to invite them to come to give a statement in response to the petition at the Utako police station. And as I speak to you, the NUJ secretary is with them at the Utako police station as they are making their statements. So there it is right there. The price for exposing corruption is that the former chief of army staff will tell the Nigerian police to go and gun you down, go and gun them, go and kill them. Essentially, the order. Court refuses to accept Governor Umahi as senatorial candidate in 2023 election, orders fresh polls. A federal high court in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi state capital, has thrown out a suit filed by the governor of the state, Dave Umahi, asking the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to recognize him as the All Progressives Congress (APC) senatorial candidate. In its ruling delivered on Friday, the court recognized Anne Agom Eze, who came second in the May 28th senatorial primary for Ebonyi State. According to the news agency of Nigeria, the court, however, ordered INEC to conduct a fresh primary within 14 days for the district. Umahi's counsel, Roy Nweze, had filed a suit against INEC at the Federal High Court, asking the court to compel the electoral body to recognize him as the senatorial candidate for the district. Austin Umahi, brother to the governor, was declared the winner of the APC senatorial ticket for Ebonyi South. According to the news agency of Nigeria, another primary was held on June the 9th, during which Austin withdrew, and the Ebonyi governor reportedly contested unopposed and won. However, although the APC had listed Dave Umahi as its senatorial candidate for Ebonyi North, he was excluded when INEC published the list of candidates for the 2023 elections. Reacting to the development, Ineamaka Nwanzo, who is counsel to Agom Eze, expressed satisfaction over the judgment. Yes, the court has ordered APC to conduct a fresh primary to ratify the candidacy of our client, and Anne Agom Eze, who took the second position as the governor's younger brother, has withdrawn. Nwowu said the court has given 14 days from today, Friday, to conduct a fresh primary for the zone. So I'm not quite sure what victory that Anne should be claiming, because if they conduct a fresh primary, Mahi will simply contest and buy the slot for himself. So we all know that. So now this is now a very important story. So let me take a sip of water before we get into it.
onye du IPOB o meriwo n'izu oniro ya.
Well, pardon me, I just had to blow my nose for a moment there. Oh, okay. Ukraine invasion. European Union to replace gas from Russia with Nigeria. Nigeria may start supplying more gas to the European Union (EU) as the Russia-Ukraine war, which started in February 2022, lingers. The European Union delegation to Nigeria and Economic Community of West Africa (ECOWAS) made the disclosure. The Deputy Director General, Department for Energy, European Union Commission, Matthew Baldwin, confirmed this to newsmen in Abuja. Correspondents can report. Baldwin is in Nigeria to meet government officials and private sector players, including key stakeholders in the energy sector. The official admitted that Europe is in a tight spot following the war. The instability in its gas market and the threat of cost. The official admitted that Europe is in a tight spot following the war, the instability in its gas market, and the threat of cost cutting off supply. We have launched the Energy Platform Task Force, and the primary goal is to reach out to our reliable partners such as Nigeria, to replace the gas from Russia, he said. The European Union had advised member states to reduce gas consumption by 15%, as it warned that a complete shutdown of Russia's supply was possible. So there it is right there. So that window opens for Nigeria. But then, of course, what is the benefit? The people will not benefit, of course, but how does that play in the power politics of the Nigerian space? So this is now the final readout. I don't kidnap, I only kill people. Aleru, Zamfara terrorist chief. Notorious banditry kingpin Ada Aleru, who was recently named the Sakin Fulani Yandoton Daji Emirate, the head of the Fulanis in Yandoton Daji, in a chilling confession, said he does not kidnap people but kills them. The coronation of Mr. Aleru, who is the leading terrorist in Tase and Faskari axis of Zamfara and Katsina states, generated public outcry across the country. The state government subsequently suspended the emir of the town, Aliyu Marafa, who conferred the title on Mr. Aleru, who is wanted in neighboring state Katsina for mass killing. The Katsina state government placed a bounty of 5 million naira on information leading to the arrest of Mr. Aleru, who is accused of, and listen to this, so this is the guy that they coronated in Zamfara, but listen to this. The Katsina state government placed a bounty of 5 million naira on information leading to the arrest of Mr. Aleru, who is accused of killing 52 people in Katsina, a community in Kadasiao, a community in Faskari local government area in 2019. In his first and only interview with the media, Aleru told BBC, so the BBC are able to find him, but the Nigerian security agencies, they are not. In his first and only interview with the media, Mr. Aleru told the BBC that he is angry with Hausas and the Nigerian government. In the documentary titled The Bandit Warlords of Zamfara, built to be aired on the 25th of July 2022, Mr. Aleru said whilst his men kidnap people, he is only interested in killing people. My men do that, I just go and kill them, people, Mr. Aleru said. An unnamed associate of Mr. Aleru told BBC Africa Eye Team that the Fulanis are systematically excluded from government jobs, and there it is right there. and other economic opportunities. I wonder who is then advantaged. If the Fulanis are disadvantaged in Nigeria, then who is advantaged? Uh, an unnamed associate of Mr. Aleru told BBC Africa Eye Team that the Fulanis are systematically excluded from government jobs and other economic opportunities, and that Nigerian Air Force attack innocent Fulani herders and kill their cattle. How have the Fulanis become so worthless in Nigeria? He asks. He laments that the grazing routes the Fulani relied upon have been closed off whilst land and water have become very scarce. So land and water becoming scarce is sufficient enough reasons for him to have done what he did. Let me also bring you this little snippet. We bought more rifles, abductors of our school kids. The BBC also interviewed the terrorists who abducted pupils from the government girls' secondary school in Jangebi, Talata, Marafa local government area of Zamfara. Whilst the state government insisted that no ransom was paid, the unnamed bandits said they were paying 60 million naira before they released the pupils. When asked what they did with the money, he said, "We bought more rifles." And there it is right there. So there it is right there, a never ending story. There it is, and here they are. Baba Akure, I see you. Saki Father, I see you. Thomas, I see you. Uh, Bartholomew, I see you. Omo Agbaje, otherwise known as Ovie, I see you. And the mighty Adanle Koko, the great man, I see you. So good to have you all, gentlemen. So let me come to you first, then Ovie, to kick it off with you. And this going on then in Zamfara State. The punishment for crime in Nigeria is not punishment, it's reward. So a notorious searched for by the security forces in Nigeria, a bandit, a killer, being coronated in Zamfara, being interviewed by the BBC, but the Nigerian security forces tell us they don't know where he is. So a never-ending story. It will never end. Ovie.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's the way this you read the story is kind of complicated. If he's been interviewed by the international media, that means he's a free man. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's not.
No. There's a bounty on his head from Katsina for the little matter of killing nearly 60 people. So they have a 5 million naira bounty on his head, but the BBC are able to access him easily and parade him on the screen.
Yeah, but who gave him the coronation? Who did the title that they gave? Who gave him that?
Is the emir Dandudu of whatever, some emir from Dan? They've suspended the emir, of course. Have they arrested him? I don't know. But
from the same Katsina, have you?
No, from Zamfara.
Oh, look, Katsina put bounty on his head. Why Zamfara crowning him a king? Is that what?
Yeah, the champion of the Fulanis, the Damaraya Jaws of the Fulanis.
I'm laughing because it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe because I've not actually done research or pay attention to that space. I do see the headline. I'm not going to lie, but I never really, maybe because the headline appeared to me as funny.
But just off the back of the reading, can you just watch the sequence? This is a guy that's killed nearly 60 people, wanted. He went on the BBC to boast that he doesn't kidnap, he kills. The Katsina State have put a 5 million naira bounty on his head, but the Zamfara Emirates are coronating him as a Fulani lead man, and the security forces are telling us they are looking for him. And that is Nigeria. Is that not the most? It does not spin your head sometimes.
That's why I'm laughing because I mean it sounds funny. It's the same environment now. We are on the same Nigeria. What's the difference between Katsina and Zamfara? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying what they are accusing him of did not take place but it doesn't. It sounds funny to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense.
All right. See if you can make any sense of this, because it gets even more confusing. It doesn't get better, it gets worse. Our court refuses to accept Governor Umahi as senatorial candidate in 2023 election, orders fresh primaries. So we've been in this space before, Ovie, with all of these people double packing, double dipping, presidential and senatorial. So they lose out on the senatorial only to want to take it back. This guy has been refused because he was a bit clever, Dave Umahi. So he went after the presidential, but he got his brother to go and secure a senatorial ticket. So now that he has lost out in the presidential, as you'd imagine, so he's now asked his brother to step down. But if his brother steps down, then the person that comes second will take that slot, not coming to him, which is his anticipation. So now he's gone to court now, and the court has now cancelled everything to order a rerun. But is the court disadvantage in the process? Because in a rerun, of course, Umahi would run and just take the ticket.
Yeah, that's very tricky because I think the same thing happened in the Cross River State that with the current governor, what's his name, who also ran for presidency. The short man in the young man in Cross River. What's his name again?
Abayi, or what is his name? That crazy guy that. One man friend. It's the one man friend.
Limpotic blossom.
Yeah, I think he actually. So I mean, I think what I can say is that there are interesting days ahead. I don't think it will go smoothly like that. To him, what's his name? You just called Amahi, the Cross River guy. Our current Senate president is also in that dilemma. The minister of Niger Delta is also in that dilemma. But I don't think it will. I will be surprised if they have their way because even I'm paying attention to Falalan's place. Falana is kind of warming up. This is time for him to get paid or make name for himself. So I don't think it will go smoothly like that for them. I'll be surprised if these people that I mentioned come back actually have their way. It will be very difficult for them to have their way with the way things are going. But I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. But I pray and I hope they should not have their way. I mean, it's that time we start, taking the process that we are practicing serious one way or the other.
We need a cleansing, don't we? We need a cleansing. We need to clear out some of these people and replace them with it.
Yes, but unfortunately, the system that we adopted, this presidential system and this party politics system, is the elite are in charge. It is their game, and they will only have their way. It is not going to happen swiftly as we the ordinary citizens wanting to be, but with time, it is just going to be taking place one at a time. It's a long process. That's why I hate this presidential system. I hate the whole political situation that we adopted from America. It's not working for us. It's only working for the few. And we take time. I mean, anytime I put America into because everybody criticize me, we know how long it took them. So, but I know it's not going to take us long that time because the citizens are becoming aware by the day. It's going to depend on the level of the majority of the citizen consciousness. So the game I played that we actually cleanse the system. But we are on a long thing according to the bunch. It's going to take a long time for the system to actually serve the majority because at this time, the system is operating at its optimal. This is what it's set up to do. And he's doing it well. I mean, the examples are there. This is not, as I said, we copy it from somewhere. If you go back to history and read how America were able to arrive at this stage, even up till now, it's still serving few, not the majority of Americans. So those people sat down.
Okay, do you think that it should be built into the laws of Nigeria that a state governor should be made to serve a period of hiatus before they are able to go into the Senate, so that they have a period of vulnerability where their actions as the governor, they are accountable to it as a private citizen? Should they be made to serve at least a tenure as a private citizen before they're able to go into the Senate?
Of course, that would be good, but again, the rules of the game are set by the same people who are playing it. They regulate the rules by themselves. They set the rules. That's how dangerous the system is. Yes, I totally agree with that. They should be citizens first. I mean, for now, there's no way we can actually put that into law. But I think that's why I fought this idea of regional government. To me, we should be fighting for state autonomy. Every state should have its level of autonomy. Every state should run its affair the way it them fits before looking toward to the central government. That is the only way we can actually have a little bit of insanity.
But that's a total reworking of the Nigerian states then.
That's what we need.
Because that's a confederation. What you're describing is more of a confederacy.
Yes, that's why I say the system we adopt is a long thing. It will take, but that is how we're going to get it. That's how America got it. It took them about from 1766 to 1860. So imagine how long it takes for them to actually have state autonomy. If we want to make them, every state should be in charge of how it runs its affair. We are different. Those states is different from Lagos. We have different resources. We have different manpower. So everybody should be able to concentrate and bring out the best in it of our citizens. If we want to run our government to be one term, to be what, but it should depend on that citizen, not this old everybody is answering to one accord. It's not. That's why even the regional government that we are fighting for, it's not going to work. I don't want to be under the Biafrans. Neither do I want to be under the Ududuwas. But let me have my own state. Let me be able to hold my governor responsible. If at the end of the day, if the citizens of those states then feel that good Obaseki, yes, he has done well, he deserves to go into the Senate, it should be our prerogative. Even though in a way, that's how you cannot do it now, because you have to contest and win. But in a way, the election, what choice do we really have? We are not important. I keep saying that. So the whole system is, people that brought this system to us, they know what they were doing. It is not for the majority. Rather, it's for the few. Even though they say the power belongs to the democracy is for the people or whatever, how crap they define that thing. But that's just on paper. It's not going to work. The way we are going now, long thing, nothing is going to ever work for the majority. So we say, yes, we need to. That's why I kind of agree with Chris Okoti, even though they use BB grammar, they describe what in the talk. Yes, the idea of setting an interim government is.
I've never heard that said in my life. You are the first human being that I've ever heard say I agree with Chris Okoti.
I know. No, even though the idea of
vote fresh. Do you remember vote fresh?
Even though he said that we should have an interim government, which I know that's not going to happen, but if you listen to me break it down, how this system is totally against us, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for the general public. So now chaos. We might take another civil war before actually people will wake up. But for the fact that we are so much divided along the fault lines, it is pretty much impossible the way we are saying it. But I totally agree with his view. This system, we have tried the regional system. You know what? We can't adopt this one. I think we've been fighting now for 24 years. And
I don't think we need a civil war here. What I think we need in Nigeria is a military coup. That's what we need.
Yeah. But who are the military now? Not them, they did the military. Because
if the military comes to say that this constitution is not fit for purpose, the place that the country is in now, intellectually and globally, if they come in, they cannot stay for too long. And if they come in and just address all of the fault lines in the constitution, we can immediately fast forward the country. If they're there for, we saw Abdul Razak Abdul Baba, the one from, so he was there for barely a year. So if we can just have a short intermission to abandon completely this constitution, that is an enslavement constitution, and then get a for the people constitution, that will just propel that country. But if we are looking for constitutional reforms, your children and your grandchildren will still be on this same platform more than 2 years.
I see your point, but the military have done that over and over again before now. When the Buhari take over power, they say that because corruption.
Our grandchildren care. One more.
Look at that now. But our grandfathers, but our grandfathers were the same complaints that we are complaining now. Where the complaints that my father was complaining,
Actually, go.
And
Our great grandchildren.
grandchildren will be shouting there, look, my grandfather was here fighting for the freedom of Nigeria.
We are still not free. We are still not free.
Oh God, God save us. Oh.
For real, this system that we are on, our great grandchildren will feel the same way if we don't do anything about that. When the Buhari led the coup, the taking over power in the 80s, now the same excuse they give, they say, oh, the government of the day is corrupt, they are not blah blah blah. Even when Ronsi, what is it called? The Ronsi, the first coup, Ronsi or whatever they call that, Igbo man. Those are the same excuse they gave that, oh, this system is not working. That time will come and take over. So in the military, we have seen them before. We know how they operate. But I'm sorry to put it, it might, it's not the best way. It might take the citizen now to actually say, you know what, enough with enough, now what we won't go. Because countries that got it right, practicing the same system of political appointment, that's what they did. The American election of 1860, they actually synthesized everything. It led to war. After the election, war followed suit because the South said they no agree, the North said this is how they go down. So they had to go to war. At the end of the day, they now sat at the table and say, okay, this is how we should do it. This is every state should have its own power and order. So I'm sorry, maybe that's what we need. But again, I see where you are coming from. The level of education, the level of awareness is growing by the day. It might not lead to that, but something has to be done drastically. Something that it might cost us. It's going to cost us life. Life is going by the day anyway. So, but for us to actually get it right, it's going to cost us more. If we decide to still remain docile,
if we are going at the rates that we are going in Nigeria, we will never ever, till the world comes to an end, we will never escape this thing. Look at, like you said, the same narrative when Buhari was a military dictator. The same narrative when the first civil war coup. The same narrative. Nothing has changed. Nothing has in fact, and it has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse the way things are going with this system of politics that not only the money back, have they say, the rest of us, we have to dance along. It's just going to happen. I keep questioning every day, say, who are those people that actually sat down and say, this is the way we should go? But those people, they didn't do out of ignorance, or they know what they were doing when they say, okay, let's go this route. It is not going to serve us. It's not going to change anything. And the population is growing by the day. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. From 2025, 2026, I 100% believe that the state is going to be interrupted. Either it's going to be led by foreigners or the Nigerians. That now depends on.
Come when?
2025, 2026, Nigeria will be the Nigerian state will be disrupted.
Yes,
but who is going to?
Nigeria's rate is going to be disrupted. But I don't think it's going to be internationally. Who's going to finance it? It's either going to be by the people's will, because that NSAS was a test case, and the people they've seen they will come back because they cannot bear the life. So it's either going to be by the people or by the army. But sadly, we cannot go on like this.
The result, the outcome of that destruction will be determined by who financed the destruction. Because revolution, all this, they happen like that. Now people, they put money there. So who is going to sponsor that?
Who sponsored NSAS? Who sponsored NSAS?
Wama, you know what will go there.
Peter Obi, according to Live Ahmed.
No, Peter Obi, but it's the people who sponsor now abroad they now America here they. But to go further, I will tell you the state, I will tell you the street, I will tell you the house. But
tell us the name. Tell us the name.
The Nigerians, though, I am not saying foreigners with the America, but the Nigerians now they do on board. There's a lot of financial foreign influence that actually play out during the NSAS too. I miss my protest now. I was in the street of Dallas, the NSAS, but by the time I go back to my senses, smoke a lot of it, go begin to my research, I begin put one or two things together. I don't say, okay, it's not the way it seems. So that is my problem, my issue against Showore anyway. And I asked him. I remember when Dr. Damage brought him to his platform to review. I asked him directly. I said, do you think that with your romance with the international community, them financing all these Ayorinde Foundation, Ford Foundation, putting money into your struggle, do you think the power brokers in Nigeria will actually trust you enough to give you power?
The guy no deny him. He agreed that yes, what's it called? Foundation now. Foundation gives money to everybody. As I not just go for that once he admit that. So that's why I disagree with him. When the source of the money where they use for this thing is not coming from you or the citizen, it's always a trouble. It's always going to be trouble. The World Economic Forum is real. The One World Order agenda, it is real. It is real, and Nigeria are one of the key countries that, very important to the international community that if they actually get us under their wing, it is over. The black race is pretty much over. This is why they talk my son conspiracy. They go say, oh, this guy don't know what in the top, but gradually we go to see him. So I am for the citizen to disrupt the state, but can we finance it? This financing and every organization should come from us, not by any foreign influence. If foreign influence comes, that's where it's going to be hard.
All right. So, Via, you say that it's getting progressively worse and the people have to disrupt the system. But certainly, Ovie, it is getting progressively worse. And I think the people, they will have no choice but to disrupt the system. So, the Naira, which traded for 620 against the dollar on Monday, 620 Naira to the dollar on Monday, 630 on Wednesday, 645 on Thursday, now trading for 658 on Friday. So just look at that. From Monday to Friday, the Naira depreciated by 40 Naira to the dollar. So the people will have no choice. Just the sheer will to leave will rage them against the state.
Yeah, and I think the Naira will get worse as the election approach. I think you made a point sometime last year about that election actually determine how the economy goes or how the money goes. I remember, I forgot exactly your words, how you put it, which you have spot on. Election is approaching. Now dollars come to play. So those way they thought they know they give shishi, they no go collect shishi. Now lie. When dollar flashing for you go collect them. So it's going to get worse. For us where they are abroad, I mean, one will say, oh, now good thing. I have people who work for me in Nigeria at this point. So all I need to do now is just say $100, $200, and everybody is paid.
Have you increased their wages, or are you one of the exploiters?
I just did that this morning, actually. Okay. I just did that this morning, actually, when one of them called me, and I did agree to what he said. I said, okay, but I might not, because of that, now should I not back or support the way the Naira is going? No, I'm not happy. I don't like it because now only few they benefit from them. So, but unfortunately, as I said, now election and the game I play now elite game and a money game. It's money. There's only one most important currency in political party contention is money. Money buy everything, buy everybody. So it's going to get worse, unfortunately. But I mean, but because of that, the ordinary citizen is becoming conscious by the day. Because I said it before, if there's any credit you give Buhari-led administration, is that they have provoked a Nigerian citizen enough to say, you know what, I am interested in this process. Even though we started a little bit later in some kind of the wrong way, but at least people are becoming conscious. So the level and of our consciousness will drive the change that we want. So it might take time, but I give Buhari that administration for messing everything up. Good luck administration. Good luck administration. Make every Nigerian citizen, even my grandmother in the village, those knows that they thief money. Knows the money they do everywhere. They share money. Now Buhari can make everybody believe that, man, this thing can only get worse if we don't wake up from our slumber and actually get involved. And that's why I keep saying it's organized. We got to organize. When we organize, we know where our problem is. We know those who are vulnerable. We help them out. Because if you are telling somebody in any part of Nigeria not to collect money, you better have something substantial to say, you know what, take this, don't take this. Because I went into an inter argument sometime with somebody who say, they're not going to collect money. I know a lot of people who collect money for this election. Yes. In your own vicinity, in your own area, for your own state, if you know people who don't collect money. But can you say that to the guy in Muchika in Mobi? Can you say that to the guy in Ososo in my village? Can you say the same thing to the guy in Nkolomo village in Anambra State? Can you say the same thing to the guy in the local government in Borno? Say, no, you can't. In as far as we are not organized enough to say this is who we are, this is our problem, this is how we are going to approach it. But first of all, we have to make each and every one of us a little bit sufficient, because it's very easy to tell somebody, say, don't collect money, but and then in place of what? If you say make I no collect money, you might have something for me to say, okay, you rather provide job for me or you give me money. But so until we go to that level, not everyone, of course, you can't get 100% of the Nigerian citizens to agree, but large majority, especially now the youth. And again, my fear about this youth awakening overnight is that what is going to happen come 2023? Mike Tyson say you dig ground until they hit you for face. Then you go know. So if they got blown on the face come 2023, but not having their way, there will be. What are they going to do? Are they going to start blaming themselves? Oh, you betrayed me, you collect money. Or are they going to say, you know what? We started something, let's continue build on this, because it will take time. It is going to take time. Even if we organize and form a movement down, we have to stand in the of time, because these men are not sleeping. They are ahead of us already. They have more money than us. They are more organized than us. The only thing that we have number, but the number now is working against us because we are not organized.
All right,
so
go on, round off that thought.
Nnamdi Kanu.
Don't worry. It's if we do address the Nnamdi Kanu, because I think that's why he's here. But
guys, Nnamdi Kanu, where is it video? Anybody should tell me any zoo in the world that have a special animal like tiger or lion, and just because some few people are crying that you release him and they actually release him to the wild. No, Nigeria, with the zoo called Nigeria, has a special animal in Nnamdi Kanu and is giving our attention. We love it. Nnamdi Kanu is not going to leave that zoo until after 2023. That I'm sure of that. Nobody is going to release that animal from that zoo until after 2023. It no go happen. The international community can shout and cry as all they want. Nothing go happen. Nigeria are sovereign.
Ovie, there's the animal tiger. There's a particular breed of tiger that is called the white tiger, which is a prized animal.
That's what we got.
So now they can essentially a white tiger that's now being captured by.
No, we can't release that. We need him. We need our attention. We can't release the animal from that zoo yet. This zoo, we like this zoo until we decide we elect another animal to lead us.
Maybe it's a giraffe like a Baba Kure's toy behind it.
So it's but again, even though I criticize this system of what we are playing, I love it. Guess what? This is another way of introducing Biafra narrative, the succession narrative, Ududua narrative into the politics. That is going to dominate this weekend or throughout next week. That's what we're going to be talking about. With the complaint, with they say Tinubu certificate or Tinubu Muslim, that is going to die gradually, and this is going to pick up. It's a game. They will have to keep us busy, and the media must chop.
All right, thank you, Ovie. So thank you, Ovie. Stay with us for as long as you can. Let me go on from you, Ovie, to Kulata. So Kulata, Ovie was telling us that they have more money than us, but then they certainly do have more money than us. Nigeria being the top 7.
They are also more organized than us. Sorry.
Well, I don't know about that, but they certainly have
politicians
more money
are the
than
most
us,
organized people in any given society. Politicians are the most organized. They fight, but they settle amicably because they have a goal, which is power. So they are very organized.
The politicians. So let me build it up for Kulata. So Ovie is saying they have more money than us. They certainly do. And Ovie insists they are more organized than us. That's subjective. But they certainly do have more money than us. Nigeria being the seventh top 7 oil exporting countries in the world. But the gas now that they are found in Nigeria will not tell us that they are going to enslave us in perpetuity if we don't find an escape route. So the European Union, Kulata, they are looking now to either abandon Russia or have an energy mix as they start to look to Nigeria. Nigeria being one of the top 5 gas deposit countries in the world. So what are you then making of this new now gas move by the European Union and how it will impact on the future of the Nigerian person?
We're desperate for that European investment, in my opinion. We're sitting on gold, and we've been flaring gas for before I was born. I mean, we've been flaring gas, and we continue to flare gas, and we're discovering more gas reserves. And then, is this even a cheat question? Because Nigeria, we're bleeding forex. We don't have forex, and we have an opportunity to build pipelines that will go through North Africa and go to Europe, and that will kind of like give Europe the respite they need from Russia. And we're here kind of contemplating whether it's good or bad. I mean, we must be crazy not to take that opportunity. I mean, look at Nigeria. As of today, we're allowed to, OPEC gives us like 2 million barrels a day. We're only generating 1 million barrels. And those 1 million barrels is mostly from the offshore rigs. Anything onshore right now is being, I mean, a lot of the Niger Delta people have taken over it. So we're saying Naira is crashing. Why won't Naira crash? We can't, we're paying subsidy. We're only generating half of what we should be generating. That gives us the Forex. And then CBN is selling at 400. There's an automatic arbitrage in the market, meaning, there's a fake rate and then there's a real market rate. So people can just be shunting between the same, buying from CBN and selling in the market. And then you have politicians that have excessive demands for that same Forex. So we're kind of like in a terrible situation. Before election, as things goes, the dollar may go to 1,000 naira or more, because we're not bringing, our supply is low. We're not bringing the Forex. We're not bringing the dollar because we're only exporting 1 million barrels. And the area that we're actually supplying, the offshore, we have a lopsided contract agreement on those offshore rigs. Those contracts pays the IOC more than it pays Nigeria. So if we can't beg a lot of the Niger Delta people to allow us kind of like export from some of the land, some of those I export crude from the onshore reserves that we have, we're screwed. And you are not going to stop these politicians from demanding more dollars, because this is the dollar season. From now till February is dollar season. So demand for dollar will increase. A lot of Naira will be going after the dollar. It will continue to increase. And then we have an escape route that will help us maybe in the next 10, 20, 30 years by creating gas pipelines into Europe that will give us steady Forex. Please, we should take it. It's the same way where, what's it called? LNNG. Do you even hear about LNNG? Because the arrangement they have with LNNG, even though it's liquefied gas, it's more, LNNG operates more like a company. So it's pretty quiet. We get steady income from LNNG without so much noise or so much corruption. And we have an opportunity to just bring in close to $30 billion of investments. Do you know what that will do to our economy? We'll be foolish not to consider that and continue with this nonsense.
Question, so it is to the advantage of the Nigerian state, as you've just excellently described, Kulata. But will it be to the advantage of the Nigerian person? Is the bigger question.
Yeah, it will be.
The oil has not been to the advantage of the Nigerian person. I don't think the Nigerian person has seen the dividend of the oil. So, and by the way, also add this onto it. With this gas now, does it make it even more remote? Now, all of the secession narratives, because now more than ever, they have every reason not to let Nigeria break up.
Yes. I mean, the more we discover some of this, you see, this is the curse of natural resources that allows us to be this way, because you don't get to apply yourself. God just gave you gifts and you don't have to apply yourself. So in any society, life is unfair in any society. If you discover any resources, the distribution is not going to be fair. It's going to be skewed. The elites will always eat the most of it, and then you'll have some crumbs that goes to the masses. It's just the way it is. We're not Cuba. Nigeria is not Cuba. We lean more capitalist than anything, even though we have a mixed economy. So we should forget that there's not going to be like, oh, since we're exporting to Europe, then that means we're going to spread the profit. No, what will happen is there'll be foreign exchange, then there'll be jobs created. People like you and I may be able to apply for jobs. And if all of us can apply for jobs, educated people.
Sorry, are you still at the phase of applying for jobs? Because I don't think I can apply for jobs.
I'm just using it. I'm just using an example.
All right.
Then when the likes of educated people are applying for jobs, they get decent jobs, then the middle class will grow. When the middle class grow, they can go to the market, buy tomato, buy this, buy that. So that will trickle down. It will trickle down to the masses. But there's not going to be some mass distribution. There's going to be a few guys that will make billions and billions of dollars. But as they make billions of dollars, they will lift up some people that will be making maybe $3,000 a month in Nigeria. That's a decent salary, or $2,000 a month. And those ones will be able to they'll be able to buy goods and services from
So
poor
the
people.
resuscitating of the middle class. You know, we don't have a
Yes,
middle class in
we don't have a
Nigeria.
middle class now. I mean, you need Obasanjo grew the middle class. Look at how impactful that was to our economy. We still last vestige of middle class was under Jonathan. I think it crumbled under Jonathan. Then Buhari came to destroy. He put a knife to the middle class. Where we are due to all those draconian policies. So we shouldn't think finding something is going to be equal distribution. There's no equity in the world. It's life. It sucks. The people that are more, some people will be in positions to take more advantage than the others. We're not a communist country.
All right. So Kolata to bandit Ada Aleru of Fulani stock. So he's now been turbaned. He's been coronated. The Sakim Fulani Yandoton Daji of Daji Emirate. So that is his title now. And to the achievement in life that has led to that reward is him killing about 59 people in Katsina State. So this is the thing now. So this is a wanted bandit in Katsina State with a bounty of 5 million naira for information leading to his arrest or demise. But he now, a champion of the people in Zamfara, a neighboring state, to the point that this guy is granting BBC interviews and being ordained a chief in his own home state. But the Nigerian authorities, they are telling us they are looking for him. So the BBC, maybe they should be getting their intel from the BBC, perhaps, because they could find him easily, Kulata.
Maybe they should be getting the intel from the emirs up north, since the emirs can be turbaning criminals. Like, I mean, this is the same. We're in the same country. This is like Oni of Ife, or let me just say Oni of Ife, like that Iwo guy. What's the title of Iwo? Like him bringing someone like Oluwo. Let's say Oluwo bringing someone like Monday Osumbo. I mean, criminals, and saying, okay, I give you title. Like, I mean, let's not delude ourselves. The state knows all these actors. And I think the state uses these actors to destabilize the country to their advantage. I mean, politicians do. I mean, because I don't want to believe you have all these people killing with impunity, walking around, going to get turbaned for one thing or the other. And then the governor will cry foul and say, okay, I dismiss the emir. Come on, that's nonsense now. I mean, we know all these people. This is the same government, I keep repeating, it's the same government that can go to Kenya to go and kidnap or capture Nnamdi Kanu. They captured Sunday Ogbowo, and then you have bandits getting turbaned. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This is the country we find ourselves. We may not be even able to like rescue this country if we don't do something. If we don't find like a legal loophole somewhere to kind of like cut down on the Fulani hegemony, starting from Sokoto all the way to Ilorin. We need to peel back, reverse the gains of 18.
Do you think that is still possible?
It's possible.
It is rescuable.
It's possible. It's possible. Like, okay, let's start with the Ilorin. There's Afonja family, is it Afonja or whatever family that are fighting to get a chance to be emir. I mean, it's only a governor with balls that can say, okay, I decide to rotate this between the Yorubas, the Hausa, and the Fulanis, rotate this emirship. And it only starts from that. You need to start peeling back the power. And there should be a narrative. You should do it from a legal perspective. You should also do it from a movement perspective. Is anybody talking about the genocide of Hausa people in Zamfara? Like, who are the people getting killed in Kaduna State and Zamfara and all? They are also people mostly getting killed by Fulani. But because those people see themselves as Hausa Fulani, they can't clearly see that this thing is one-sided. It's Fulani people killing and attacking Hausa people, not the other way around. So when are we going to get that self-awareness for these people to kind of like fight back? They have the numbers, but they've been subjugated. So we have deep problems. Like, I'm just, the more I want to look at Nigeria, the more it gets more depressing. But the government has a hand in all this bandits.
And by the way, you are right in that Hausa point you made, Kulata. In his first and only interview with the media, Mr. Aleru told the BBC that he's angry with the Hausas and the Nigerian government. So
you see,
are they not submitting enough? What more do you want from the Hausas? You've taken their land, you are lording it over them. What more do you want from them?
I don't know. They've taken all they took their culture, they took their royalty, they took their balls. They dictated the religion that they want on them. Like, and then now you're killing and maiming them. I mean, they're the most oppressed big group. It's not the Igbo that are the most marginalized in Nigeria. It is the Hausas that are most marginalized in Nigeria. Like, they've subjugated them in its entirety, and it's unfair. But they need like an awakening. They need a self-realization that we're getting the raw deal. I mean, they empower a few of them to become super billionaires like Dangote.
Are they too meek and feeble to be rebellious? Imagine if the Hausas had the spirit of the Igbos. Imagine if they had that spirit, that mojo.
They won't be in the situation where they are if they had that Igbo spirit. The Igbos cannot be easily dominated, and
nobody on earth will dominate the Igbos.
They will have fought back. So it is a sad situation, because if we need to fix Nigeria, we need to fix Nigeria both from an economic perspective, from a cultural perspective, from a structural perspective. So there's so many things. Like, the country is, essentially Nigeria is a country set up for extraction. It was set up for extraction by Unilever. Whatever became Unilever, that's what became Nigeria. They just set it up in a way where it's easy to get goods out of the country. Pretty much that's it, until those goods became irrelevant, or the ones that they still need oil right now, they can get it without any bloodshed. Shell already got embarrassed for what they did in Ogoni. So now they just took it to offshore. So they reduced the noise. But we can't continue this structure of extraction where there's nothing cohesive in the country, and we're trying to force cohesion. And the only way we're getting cohesion is amongst the political elite, where they divide us, but they go inside the back rooms and make deals, and they share the money. That's the only thing kind of keeping this whole thing together. And they use us as tools to kind of be shouting on each other. So we're in deep doo-doo.
Yes.
I can tell you before February.
You tell me there's an escape route, but I cannot see it. I cannot see how we can never escape these people. Unless there is a mass revolution, we can never escape these people.
We can't. We need. The only thing that will work is this headless revolution, whereby there's no leader. It's just it looks like an organic revolution, something similar to NSAS. But even NSAS itself, wasn't NSAS mostly limited to the south? And
that's the inherent problem with the Nigerian conundrum, isn't it? Kulata, is that fault line of divide. Because even during that NSAS, would you believe there were protestations in the north in favor
against
of
it?
SARS? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is we are screwed. Anybody that can jackpot should jackpot. Because honestly speaking, if there's a plan B, pick a plan B. I don't really see much going on. Apart from it, there's going to be some little improvement here and there, but at the end of the day, our demography is our destiny, and that is not changing. We're breeding more dumb people than smart people, and the smart people we
Do
have
you
are
see
running
Nigeria
away.
existing in 100 years' time, Kulata? In 100 years, do you still see that there will be a country called Nigeria?
There will be some space that was formerly known as Nigeria. You know, when you're watching all these apocalyptic movies, and
Mhm.
you see that maybe the end of the world has happened, but you see some black people still existing. Those remnant people are going to be Nigerians.
My goodness
That's how
me.
I see it.
All right. Let me acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat, which is pointed in your direction, by the way, and then I'll take you to another talking point. It says, this is Alexander Gomez super chatting to the conversation. It says, one can tell Kulata comes from an academic background. His level of analysis is sublime and first class. Always a pleasure listening to him. So, Alexander, well done. But don't get a big head from that, Kulata, because I know.
But my papa na professor, true though.
No. Well, yeah, I think that's reflected in the way you present. So that's not a surprise. So Kulata doing Daddy Proud. So do Daddy Proud with this Kulata. So let me take you here. Let me take you to Ebonyi State. Court refuses to accept Governor Umahi as senatorial candidate in 2023 elections. So that is brilliant, you would say, but then orders fresh polls, which is to say that they give it back to him.
Oh,
So what are you making of that, Kulata?
I mean, really, anyone, you can't eat your cake and have it. I mean, that's what Lawan is trying to do. That's what Ebon is trying to do. That's what the guy in Akwa Ibom is trying to do. You you put 100%, you move 100% to run for the president. Now you lost. You now want to now go get back what wasn't yours in the first place. So this should not. I mean, at the end of the day, though, they may get away with it. The reason they may get away with it is your party is responsible for presenting the candidate to INEC. INEC is only supposed to observe whatever process your party does. So your party, I mean, within whatever time constraint or time that's available, can tell INEC that, we messed up with the list we sent you. Actually, we're going to have a new primaries, and when they have they'll have sham primaries and they'll present the candidates. So do not be surprised if the likes of Lawan, the likes of Umai and Akpabio end up in Senate, because there's not enough guardrails to prevent them reversing some of the prior primaries that they did. There's not enough guardrails, and to enforce it, a lot of things will just get stuck in court based on legalities. So let's face the fact that it may still happen, but it will suck if it happens. But I hope it doesn't. But the APC will just recall those people that they presented, and at the end of the day, if INEC wants to like dominate itself, insert itself, INEC may just refuse to acknowledge anybody APC presents, and
Do
then
do
that
you
will
find
be
that court judgment rather dubious?
it's
Because
dubious. But you
if
see,
somebody says it steps down, then it defaults to the person that came second. So
yes,
what is that judgment?
I mean, if someone steps down, I mean, what is the law behind it? Because if you step down, it should naturally be, from a common sense perspective, you should go to number two. But is there a loophole? Because one thing we don't realize is there's so many loopholes that these people know. All these people know all the loopholes. So when these things happen, we get mad. But when you look at the details, you see there are loopholes that they can take advantage of. So is there any loophole within the laws that allows them to say, that allows APC to say, okay, we're going to reconduct another primaries, or we're going to bring another candidate up? Is there any such loopholes? Because they know all these laws. They hire SANS to help them do all these things, and those guys are smart. So I can't, without doing more about
this
the
judgment
law.
for me, Kulata, effectively gives Dave Umahi that ticket.
Yeah,
Because if it doesn't preclude him from running, then it gives him what's going to stop him from just contesting and just taking the ticket?
That's what I'm saying is there must be loopholes to allow them to just do this, because they just can't do it without, even though it hurts a lot of us. But as long as there's no clear law that says you are barred from doing this, once this is done, this is the last opportunity to present the candidate. But they will be able to pull it off, and it's going to suck, but they'll be able to pull it off. Dave Umahi may end up being elected. I mean, at least it will be presented. It's up to his people now to elect him into Senate.
All right, unbelievable. It's just there's nowhere you look that you say hope for Nigeria. But thank you, Kulata. Stay with us for just as long as you can.
Can I interject one man?
Yeah, come in, Ajale Koko.
I think the electoral law, the new electoral law, is very clear. It clearly states that you cannot pick nomination form for two different positions. You cannot pick nomination form to contest for two different positions. So Umahi and that one of Akwa Ibom and Lawan that already picked form for presidential position, that drop out from presidency to now come and vie for, for Senate. The law barred them from contesting. They cannot do it according to the new law, according to the new electoral law. Otherwise, they risk going to jail, 2 years in prison. The law is very clear. And Femi Falana yesterday came on air to clarify it, that any attempt by them and by their party to manipulate them to getting the ticket after vying for the presidential position, they risk going to jail. So I'm just trying to correct, to make a point of correction and to let us know what the new electoral law says. So this is what we have. This is what we get as a country when you have people, particularly people like Lawan, who cheered the formulation or the formulation of that law, that does not know even the law, that he cheered the formulation of it. Or maybe rather he knows, but, being their way of, violating the law to their own advantage. So it's just funny, but the law is clear. Femi Falana, came on air and clarified it yesterday that they cannot contest. They already contested for one position, and they cannot jump back to say they want to go for Senate, that they risk going to 2 years imprisonment. So Umahi now using his brother to secure the ticket, and now the brother has stepped down in order for him to now take the ticket and reorganize another primary for him to secure the ticket. He risks going to jail. He cannot do it. It's against the law.
Will INEC even allow him? Is the thing. Never even mind him. Yeah.
One thing we need to be clear: law is up to interpretation. That is Femi Falana's interpretation. I don't know what a corrupt judge's
interpretation. It is not. Hold on, Kulata. Let Femi. You cannot stand here, or any one of us stand here, to question the judgment of Femi Falana on any law in Nigeria.
Nobody, you are mistaking.
Hold on.
No, you are mistaking one. No, let me just make a point. You are mistaking one thing.
Let me finish.
No one is questioning the judgment of Femi Falana. We're just talking about the realities of the law.
It is not reality. Let me finish. Then number two, I have that this electoral officer, I think from Akwa Ibom or this thing. This guy is in Yanga. Maybe Okoye or in Yanga. He came on the air to say the same thing. So what are you talking about, Kulata? So don't bring
You're talking about
forget about you cannot look, these people, they know the law.
You're talking about TV court. In the real courtroom, the judge may decide to rule otherwise. He may say his own interpretation is this. There may be loopholes that these guys can take advantage of.
So Femi Falana doesn't know.
Is he infallible?
What are you talking about? So Femi Falana doesn't know everything, all the provisions and everything that law says. He doesn't know whether there is loophole or no loophole. So
I would like to see it tested in court, because Femi Falana is not going to be the one to interpret that law. That is Femi Falana's interpretation of the law. The judge may say no, that is not his own interpretation.
The electoral officers that came on air to say the same thing too.
On air doesn't mean anything.
Cool.
Let me say this, Ajale Koko. Do you remember when Femi Falana told us that Goodluck Jonathan could not run for the presidency because the law precluded him for that new law that Buhari signed into law, that if you have taken an oath of office twice, you cannot for a third time.
Yes.
But then the argument that the Goodluck Jonathan camp then brought was that the law, it actually preceded him contesting. So he said the law falls outside the loop of him being able to run that space. So he was able to wriggle out of that legality, which Falana told us was categorical.
No, he didn't wriggle out. He didn't wriggle out. He didn't pick up. He didn't contest. He didn't contest.
He could have if he wanted to.
Yeah, because he didn't contest. You cannot say you wriggle out. If he had picked up the form,
he opened the legal space for himself to contest. So,
well, since he didn't contest, he didn't pick up, he didn't contest. If he had contested now and Femi Falana, take him to court, then we will have know the outcome today, whether he's violating the law or not. But let's see if they are going to pick up the form, and let's see how. Let's leave it to the courts now to come out with clearer, judgment on the law.
I want to see how a judge will interpret it, because I I don't want to do appeal to authority and say Femi Falana's opinion is. It's going to be a judge, and that judge is going to make a ruling. So let's see what that ruling will be.
It will be good. So we should challenge as well, that you said. Yeah, it will be good. Let's go and test it at the law court, and let's know the right position of the law. Yeah.
All right. We'll certainly monitor that space and update development. So thank you, Kulata and Ajale Koko. Let me go on from you, Kulata, for reasons of time, to Nsibidi, who hopefully is still with us. Are you still there, Nsibidi? Ndubisi?
Yes, Roman, I'm there.
All right, brilliant. So good to have you, Rabbi. So in the yin and yang, that is the southeast, is where we're going to say video. So the yin and yang, that is the southeast. So on the one hand, they are telling us that Obi must be our president, but on the other hand, the Nnamdi Kanu narrative. So the Nnamdi Kanu narrative resurfaces a triumph for Biafra as United Nations tells Nigeria to unconditionally release Nnamdi Kanu and give him adequate compensation. So the verdict has now come in CBD, and the United Nations is now telling us that it is an act of illegality, both on the part of the Nigerian and Kenyan states, the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu outside of the law from Kenya to Nigeria, calling for his immediate release and adequate compensation. So that is the verdict. But when that memo lands on Mallam Buhari's desk, what do you think he'll do? Action this or throw it in the bin and save it?
Yes, thank you so much, one man and every other person in the panel and everywhere people are watching. Well, I think I've been saying quite a number of things there. This to Nigeria is just trying to cause headache, but it's not something. It can't give me a headache. But what I'm trying to say is this. Well, I think it's definitely, how do you say it? It's not, we are not being honest to ourselves. if we keep on saying things like one hand they are telling you Peter Obi, the other hand they are telling you Nnamdi Kanu. It means we are just trying to gaslight people somehow. If I mean, I know you're just, I know you're not.
Is that not the
I
two
know you don't have
conflicting?
that
No, those are the
conviction.
two conflicting narratives coming out of the southeast now.
That's
One
what
wants to rule
I'm
the
coming.
Nigerian state, and the other one wants to break it up.
No, no, I'm coming. I'm coming to that. I'm just trying to tell you trying to show us the. I'm not attacking you, woman. I'm only
No, no,
just
carry
trying
on. It's a
because
conversation now. Carry on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's not just you that tries, that puts it that way. Let me say it like that. You're not the only one putting it that way. So that's why I'm saying that there's a kind of hypocrisy in that because you cannot go and use the same. We can't say the same thing about the north, where we have all manner of people coming in. Many of them terror, you know, where we have this terrorism, and today we are seeing the other man that is being turbaned. We cannot say the same thing for the southwest, where we have Sunday Igboho and also people talking about Yoruba nation and Odudu. I don't know, you know. So what is it? So I think people always look for that excuse as long as it has to do with Igbo. You know, once people don't feel like once people already have their biases or whatever it is, then they'll just bring up. But sometimes we don't know how we don't realize sometimes we are shooting ourselves in the foot because that's why some of us just look at this thing and just make a conclusion that it's all coming from a place of tribalism, biases, and hatred for for a group of people because we cannot say the same. If we are going by what we are, if we go by that, then nobody from the north should be president. In fact, since 2000 and when, nobody from the north should be president. Even since the time that they all decided that they were, not all of them, but the core north, when they decided on their Sharia, then nobody from there should have been president in Nigeria. You know, not to talk of when we have people that claim to be from that place or that are from that place that are causing this insecurity, terrorism every day, and yet we believe that they are the only ones. There are some people that believe that, like Tinubu now with his running mate, believes that is someone from where is it called, Meduguri, Borno, where Boko Haram originated, where there are several kind of narratives tying the man to these Boko Haram activities. That and he believes that that's the kind of man that can give him the presidency. So that's what I'm trying to tell you that we should not even go there. But at the same time, if you're talking about the Nnamdi Kanu situation, it is clear they should do what is right. Me, I've not. If you notice, I've never come here and start shouting that Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu. What I'm only saying is that everything should be done properly. And Nnamdi Kanu himself, what are you keeping him there for? Did he go and invade Abuja? Did he go and blow up? What is the thing? That the man started a security outfit that is supposed to start, that called for a security outfit that is supposed to be for the self-defense of his people because of the issues of people not being able to go to farm. Anytime people, do you know how many of us got calls? Do you know that one of the places now is that they found out those Fulani hideouts is close to my village. In fact, it's on the road to my village. I will not say the place exactly because I don't want anyone to know exactly my village, but it's on the road to my village. In fact, it's just, I can't even pass that road right now. That is one, but I don't know if it's still there right now. But as of, a few months ago, it was reported that one of the camps or hideouts of those headsmen, terrorists, kidnappers, those things, is just very close to my village. So when for someone that is maybe in the north, in the middle belt, or in the southwest, wherever, they might feel like, okay, why are you starting ESN? But people like us that are close to where these things was happening, then there's no way we would not support any form of self-defense group to protect our land, that our grandparents, our uncles, our aunties can still go to the farm or can even go about their business without fear of being, for the sake of YouTube, let me not use those words, you know. So there's definitely nothing wrong with that. After all, there are vigilantes everywhere.
So for the purposes, for the benefit of clarity, in CBD, where is the Southeast asking us to line up behind? So where are we lining up behind? So
You
you be
don't
the
need
spokesperson. Are we lining up behind we want to be president, or are we lining up behind we want to break up?
line up exactly how you line up with the Southwest, and line up exactly how you line up with the North. I've just given you why are we not bringing the old Yoruba nation narrative for Tinubu? Why are we not bringing the Boko Haram narrative and everything for Shetima? So it doesn't, well, I can't even, I don't want to even say Boko Haram. It's very wrong. In fact, I'm sorry for even putting those two in the same conversation. There's no relationship between Yoruba nation and or Biafra and Boko Haram. We are talking about people trying to, it's just more of trying to self-preservation and upholding their identity. Then the other ones, they are just terrorists. So they are not in the same. But let me just, for the sake of the conversation, why are we not using the same? So, and definitely, are you calling Biafrans? Are you calling Biafrans? What is it called? We can't call them terrorists. They are not terrorists. So, what I'm saying is this: if you're looking for where to line up with what is just and what is fair. If everything was fair in Yoruba land and everybody's in charge of their own security, economy, and all that, do you think that they will feel the need that they must leave Nigeria? Do you think it's the same in the southeast or in Biafra land? If everybody, if the security, economy, everything, people are in charge of it and it's fair, do you think that people want to leave? But even if you listen to Nnamdi Kanu when he's talking and some other agitation, people that are in the agitation, you keep telling you that if it was going to be possible for these people to allow restructuring and all that, they wouldn't have, they would not see Biafra as the last resort. What did they go and discuss in Aburi during the Biafran war? So why, if they could not give it then, and they had to even go to, they had to fight a war just because they determined that they can't give it. So what is that? That's why you see some people that they've just like totally lost hope that the only solution now is for them to leave that arrangement in total, in its entirety. So my point is this: up to tomorrow, everybody that is thinking properly and thinking for their own good or trying to preserve themselves, they are supporting restructuring, being in charge of your security, your resources, and all that. But unfortunately, we have seen that.
But in CBD, my brother, good evening. How are you? So
Yeah,
are you still Biafra now?
what type of question is that?
No, it's a question
It's
now.
a question now. We are in the conversation.
Am I still Biafran?
Yes.
No, that can't. That's not a question. No, I'm sorry to say that. That's not a question because
Are
everything we
you
are
still Biafra? Yes or no?
My brother, if you ask me and I say I don't want to answer, is it by force?
No
You
worries.
can't
Yeah.
ask me that question. You
Continue.
can't ask me that
No
question.
worries. It's a question. If you don't want to
am I
answer, no
But you
problem.
can see where the confusion is in CBD, can't you?
Listen,
You can see
I'm
where
an
the
Igbo
confusion
man. I'm telling you that any question you cannot ask a Northerner for supporting Sharia, call Northerner for supporting Sharia, and any question that you cannot ask a Yoruba man for, whether you say it's everybody or not. After all, it's not everybody in the Southeast that also believe in Biafra. So whether you say it's everybody or not, as long as you cannot ask a Northerner that question, you cannot ask someone, a Yoruba man, that question: is he a Nigerian or is he a Oduduwa?
do
They will not ask
do
me
you
that.
support Nnamdi Kanu?
It's not a matter. All these questions you people are asking is not a yes or no question. We have to. I'm telling you that any question you cannot ask every
No,
other person.
I support Sunday Igboho. I support Sunday Igboho.
Yeah, I support anybody that is pushing for defense of his people, self-preservation, and also justice. Obviously, I
So
support that.
you do support Nnamdi Kanu.
Why won't I support Nnamdi Kanu?
Do you support Peter Obi?
Of course.
All right.
Didn't you see? Are
Okay.
you not seeing it on my name there? No,
You don't see an inherent contradiction in those two
there is no
positions.
contradiction. I support what is fair and just, and there's no. I've just told you guys how a lot of people got to that point. The fact that they are pushing for this Biafra, I'm telling you, tomorrow, if somebody comes out and bring out true federalism and do, and bring out this restructuring, and it's not like promise, not all these promises they are giving during campaign. I'm saying just make, really push for it and people can see it. I'm telling you, most of these things will be reconsidered. But because we have seen that there's nothing that you can say to these people, they've lied all over the places. So a lot of people have just resorted to just saying that, okay, this is the only solution. So let us now ask questions that we ourselves cannot answer.
All right. Oh, okay. In CBD, let me digress you a little bit and test you a little bit. So in CBD, a man goes into a store and he steals 100 naira from the cash. And this is nothing to do with politics. This is just like a fun little thing. So a man goes into a store and he steals 100 naira from the cash registrar, from the cash register. So from the cash machine or whatever, from the tills. So a man goes into a store and steals 100 naira from the tills. He then uses that 100 naira to buy an item worth 70 naira. He hands over the 100 naira to the attendee, to the attendant, who then gives him a 30 naira change. So how much has that man stolen from that store?
Okay, the man stole 100 naira, isn't it?
Yes.
Then he gives the attendee, he buys something of
70 naira.
70 naira.
He gives the attendant the 100 naira, who then gives him 30 naira change. So how much has he stolen?
The man stole everything now.
Yeah, look at this value. Oh, okay. All right. Reflect on that. So let me take you to another space then. On CBD. Let me take you to this space. And that's a question for the comment section, by the way. Put your answers in the comment space. It says we are investigating People's Gazette over petition involving ex-army chief Burutai. So that's the Nigerian police. So I'm not sure if you've been following the expose on the army chief Burutai, who looted all of the monies that was meant to buy weapons, and that has since been exposed by this newspaper. So the ex-army chief then orders the police to go and arrest these people. So freedom of speech, Nigerian style, on CBD.
Well, I think you also read there that the man, is it the people that was sent said they didn't arrest. So I feel like, is it really, has it been confirmed that they actually went to arrest those guys? Because if the guys if the security agents are saying that they did not go, so
no,
I feel
they
like,
did go, but what they are saying is they went to invite them for questioning off
okay, okay.
the back of
No, but it's not the. Is it their job? Were they invited um, by the police, or because you don't just go like as a soldier because and saying you're going to, that's what I'm saying. If the man is a former chief of, is it chief of staff or chief of what? Is it?
chief of army staff. Yeah.
Yeah, chief of army staff. He's a former this thing. So I don't think he has that power, that authority to just send people somewhere to go and invite people. Everything has to be done properly. It's only in Nigeria we are seeing this type of things, honestly. Even if they did not arrest those people and they just go and invite them, it's not, you shouldn't even send any, because they've not refused to comply to the invitation. You invite them to, the relevant government agency, whether it's the police Or if you want to take them to court, go to court, then court will issue, give a, is it a order or whatever. Then they'll go and invite, get those people or invite them. So all these things, it doesn't make any sense. But unfortunately, that is how even people that are not at the level of even retired commissioner of police in one small corner, this is what they do all over the country. People just take advantage. Something is wrong with a lot of, I don't want to say all of us because I'm also part of the people. Something is wrong with a lot of the people in Nigeria because this is how people behave. This is what we see growing up. Even ordinary ballet. Okay, let's not call him ordinary. Even ballet of somewhere, before you know, you are sending people to go and bring some, that's how it is in Nigeria, unfortunately. So it's part of the culture. The it's part of the culture. It's very wrong. It's wrong.
All right, brilliant. So thank you, Nsibidi. So, Nsibidi, let me take you to this final space. The Nigerian currency continues to hemorrhage. 620 to the dollars just on Monday, 658 to the dollars on Friday. So, which way Nigeria and Nsibidi at this rate? Zimbabwe is calling. Zimbabwe knocking on the door. Nsibidi.
Yeah, but the other day, federal is it central bank came out and was shouting that they will stop exchange of what people selling. Is it dollar? Unfortunately, who are the people going? Who is this going to affect more? Is it not the? We know that it's mostly the our brothers from the north that that are involved in this dollar exchange, black markets, whatever. So I think also there's that conflict. You see, that's now the problem. That's the thing we are talking about. They can't really do something just because of they want. They still play politics with everything. Anything that will affect them, they wouldn't deal with it directly. But the ones that, if it's just only the south or maybe the southeast that is going to affect, then you will see them the next day. They've already made, a law. So, well, it will unfortunately, I even saw, like, was it last month, towards the ending, where they said the Naira have gained, it was about 400 and something. So all of a sudden now it's back to the 600. So it's really, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand. But unfortunately, they will not be able to solve a lot of these things because of tribal politics.
How is the country able to attract investors with the currency fluctuating so sharply? So there you are, you are an American a financier. You want to put your money in Nigeria. You take it to Nigeria at 420, and by the time you wake up the next morning, it's 530. So you've lost half your wealth or a good percentage of your wealth. So how is that fluctuation able to attract international investors?
I don't even know if there are international investors still coming. I think it's mostly people that are just coming to offer services, collect their money, and disappear. I'm hardly seeing people that are, coming to invest or start one big multinational business in Nigeria at the moment. I don't know if there's any. Somebody should tell me. But for now, I don't even. Is ShopRite even still in? Are they still there? I
I'm
think.
sure they are.
Oh, okay, they are there. But I heard there was some time they were also talking about. I heard that news of ShopRite also considering, one or two things that they will do. So unfortunately, these people. That's why we keep on telling the people like Two Ninja and all these people that keep on that believe that the government that everything is normal, and it's just a matter of doing some kind of things. So these people, it seems that they don't even care about economy, or that's how it seems. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it seems like they don't care about the economy, where it's going, whether it's a currency, whether people are crying. They don't care. I think the only thing they have in mind first is to kind of gain total control of that space. Unfortunately, you might say it's a conspiracy theory, but when conspiracy theories are now beginning to, you're seeing it playing out every day. They won't be conspiracy theories anymore. So it seems like they just want to, like what Aisha, is it Aisha Yusuf or someone said that the other day? They just want to first control this thing, hold it, and just gain that ideological ground. Then I think the later economy is something that they want to do maybe later on. They want to face, you know. So it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's just because of we are in the public space, and sometimes we don't want to sound. We don't want people to feel like to like there's no longer hope or anything. But it, it just seems like we are we are trying to build something that some people are just they are already determined, or they are actually working serious very hard to bring down, and those are the people that are in charge. So it's sad.
All right, brilliant. Well put. So thank you, Insibidi. So Insibidi, for reasons of time, let me go on from you to Thomas. Thomas, are you ready to go? All right, let me go from Thomas to Baba. All right, so good to have you, Thomas. So good to have you, Thomas. Let me kick you off then, Thomas, from where I kicked Insibidi off. The United Nations now takes a clear and unambiguous stance on the Nnamdi Kanu narrative, totally against the law, both against Kenya and Nigeria, and they are also inviting quite a substantial compensation. So that memo has now, that verdict has now been passed to the Nigerian state. So what actions then are you expecting from Mallam Buhari and his clansmen?
Thank you, Omar. Good evening, everyone. One man, I don't know, maybe I should say this. The United Nations has the power, or they are just giving Nigeria just an advice. It's just an advice, or they are giving them directive.
I'm not sure that the United Nations necessarily have powers of enforcement, but Nigeria is signatory to all of the conventions that are applicable in this instance. So an invitation then to honor that convention that's the signed too.
Thank you for that. To me, I've always said this countless of times. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, I think it will not be a problem or issue to Nigerian government. But after releasing him, what is the next thing? That is the question that normally comes to my mind every time. Releasing him unconditionally or conditionally, after all that, what is going to happen? Is he going to go back to the normal old ways, still asking for the same thing, or everything is just going to die down? For me, in my opinion, Nnamdi Kanu that I see, is not a such person that will give up what he believes in. And I give him kudos. What you believe in, stand by it. I'm not seeing him. Even when they release him, he will give up Biafra. I think, to me, as for now, maybe tomorrow he may change his mind. But the last section in the court, what is still, you can still see him chanting what he believes in, which
do you think Nnamdi Kanu can or should be released with conditions?
In my opinion, it should be released in condition.
And what would those conditions be? What would those conditions be?
Yes. First one is if you can give up the Biafran war, Biafran agitation. That is my first condition.
When you say give it up, not to do it anymore or to denounce it, those are two separate things. So not to do it anymore or to come out publicly and denounce it.
To denounce it.
Right.
Yes. If he do that, oh man, Nigeria government doesn't have problem. No. is because of the agitation and the word of incitement they claim he's doing. And people may say he didn't mean it sometimes, but in Yoruba land, they will say our words is just like a egg. When it drops, you can't bring it together. When the egg drop on the floor, everything is
But would
scattered.
that not be a death sentence for Nnamdi Kanu to denounce? Is that a condition that can ever be met for him to denounce Biafra for its own
Yes,
freedom?
yes, that's what I said earlier on that. For him, he has passed that stage for to denounce what he believes in. And even if he denounces it, even his followers, which is our brothers Igbo, some of them may not forgive him because some people has been they believe in what he believes in, and they are following him with passion, which everybody have the right to do that. But for him to denounce it, it's just like Peter Obi. Like Peter Obi now come out tomorrow that I'm not going for presidency anymore. He will lose the people will not like him in the southeast because they really want him to go out there and push for the presidency. Even there are some steps he will wants to take. He will think twice because of his followers and because of the momentum he has gathered in the few months ago. So for him to denounce, for him to be released, if he can denounce the Biafran agitation or struggle, maybe they may consider him. They can even said he will not be able to leave the country. That may be the second condition, and maybe anything else can be added to that, because Nigeria government know if you escape Nigeria, he may start the agitation again. So I think Nigeria government, Nnamdi Kanu has the right to fight for his people, and I don't have anything against that. But Nigerian government, you know them, what they are thinking far. I still wonder, one man, what will cost them to go to Kenya and rendition this guy back to Nigeria. I can't even put my head.
Do you not think that that has been effective, that the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu? Because the legality of it, one thing or the other, but this guy now, by virtue of that renditioning, it has brought to an end that space.
Yes, somewhat he has brought it down. No, he doesn't brought it down to he tempered it down a bit, but the
When
ideology.
was the last time you were hearing? It's only even me that's keeping it up with my holy, holy songs. When did you last hear from that space?
Yes, you are right. You are right. It's just like one man. If they capture the head, the followers will scattered. That is what happened. And even when Obi now came out, oh, that one even scattered everything, because this is what we have been preaching, that let's forget it about this agitation. Then let's tackle these people in our with our votes. Let's change our mentality. But you rightly said it that the agitation went down immediately they capture Nnamdi Kanu, which is right. We can't go away from it. But one man, the ideology is still in our people. They still have that mentality of we want to have our land, which they have the right to do it. Nobody will say what they are doing is not right. Everybody have the right to secede from every country that you want, but to secede from any country, we have to have referendum in our constitution, which is not there for now. So it could have been better for our southeasterner to push in for referendum for the constitution to be changed. That if we have referendum in the constitution, then we can ask for your country. But anybody asks in for his own land. Even Yoruba people shouting Yoruba nation is a criminal. It's like a treason to Nigerian government. It's a threat to them because they don't want it. They don't want it in any way. So I give United Nations the kudos for saying this out. It should be released. He has spent enough there. But I will still end my comment with, after releasing him, what is the next thing? Is he going to stop or continue? That is my submission, Wama.
All right, brilliant. Well put. So Thomas, let me go on from you to let me go on to hold on. Let me go on from you to Baba Akure. So Baba Akure, I want to share a screen with you, Baba Akure. So as I bring Alexander on, so Baba, I'll share this screen with you, Baba Akure, and then you post your commentary. We hear from Alexander, and then we hear from you. So this man that you see on the screens, Baba Akure, there's a 5 million naira bounty on him by the Nigerian state, but here he is in open glare. So this is the guy, of course, that is responsible. He doesn't believe in kidnapping. He just kills them. This is what he says. And here he is being turbaned in Zamfara or somewhere. So here he is, a Nigeria Fulani style.
Adam Aleru is once again a household name, especially amongst locals in Nigeria's northwest states of Katsina and Zamfara, after he was conferred with the traditional title of Sarkin Fulani in Endoto by the Emir of Endoto in Safe local government area of Zamfara state. It is not the title that matters to many, but his immediate past and the present. Yankuza is still suspected to be amongst the bandits terrorizing people in the two states. The bitter memory of the attacks he was said to have masterminded 2 years ago in Kadisau and Kabalawa communities in Faskari local government area of Katsina state is still fresh in the minds of these children, whose father was amongst the more than 65 people that were killed during the attack. Weeks after the attack, the Katsina State Police Command says it has arrested 3 people who confessed to be amongst those who carried out the killings in Kadisau and Kabalawa communities. One of the suspects says it was Adamu Aleru that organized hundreds of them to carry out the attack because his son, Suleiman Adamu Aleru, was in police custody even after he has made all efforts to get him released. Bello Osman.
So there it is right there. So that's the Nigeria that the Buhari administration is gifting us. So ponder on that for a moment, Baba Akure, as we hear from Alexander Gomez, who joins us. Good to see you, Alexander. So to the conversation, let's hear from you.
Well, the clip. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
The clip you just showed it's a proof of why, or it's indicative of why people are uncomfortable about this Fulani Muslim ticket. These people do things with impunity. I don't know how you can turban or whatever word you call it, a notorious criminal, a bandit with one of the highest titles in the northern place, northern state. It doesn't make any sense. I'm disgusted. I am upset, and I feel real bad that this kind of things are happening in Nigeria. But we have a president who's sympathetic to the Boko Haram cause, and people get away. These bandits get away with impunity, unfortunately. Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally. The United Nations has passed that law. They've given the state of Nigeria. In spite
of all of the atrocities he has committed.
Well, I am sure that the United Nations had all the evidence in front of them before they made that decision. If they've made that decision and we don't release Nnamdi Kanu, they're going to come after the Nigerian state. They have given us 6 months to adhere to that judgment. And as a nation and a member of the United Nations, we have to adhere to the instruction by the United Nations. Nnamdi Kanu has been a threat to the Nigerian state because of his pronouncements. I appreciate that. But he wants his people to be freed. It's an ideology. The average Igbo man thinks he's being marginalized, doesn't have a sense of belonging in Nigeria. It is not an easy thing. I remember growing up in a white man's land and feeling like I've been maltreated sometimes because I'm a black man. So it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to be marginalized. So I'm not in full support of his pronouncements, but I can understand the ideology behind the Biafra nation. They've been marginalized for a long time. They have the new generation have grown up and been embedded with or implanted with this ideology that the average Nigerian cannot tolerate the Igbo man. This is how racism starts. This is how tribalism starts. So if they want to go, if they want to go, I'm not.
Are they writing that, Alexander, that the average Nigerians cannot stomach the Igbo person? Are they
Yes, they are.
misguided? Are they misguided or are they right?
No, the average Nigerian is uncomfortable with an Igbo man. Yes, because the Igbo man by his very nature is a very intimidating person and thinks that he's always right in everything he does. So that's why a lot of people are very uncomfortable with him. They come to Lagos, they go to Ghana, they go to South Africa, and you can see a common denominator. People are just uncomfortable around Igbos, not because they don't like them, but because of their core nature. They're domineering people. That's the way God made them. In America, they're like that. You'd be amazed at the average African American. I had a conversation with one of the most respected panelists on this channel, who agrees with me totally that the African Americans, they know the difference between an Igbo person and a Yoruba person. Believe it or not, it's not by the accent. Whether you have an Igbo accent or have a Yoruba accent, they don't know the difference by the accent, because as far as they're concerned, you have an accent. They can't differentiate between a Yoruba accent and an Igbo accent. And they can't differentiate between the features of a person, but they can differentiate between the mannerism and the attitude of the person. That's why they know if you're Nigerian, they can tell, oh yes, you're Yoruba, or yes, you're Igbo. So I mean, it's a strength and also a weakness. So don't let's fool ourselves. Yes, a lot of people are uncomfortable with the mindset of the Igbo man. That's the way God created them. They didn't create themselves. That's just who they are. They are strong-minded. They're intimidating. They're domineering. And I hope the average Igbo person on this platform is not going to deny that, because that's just the way it is.
Can equally be a strength as well as a weakness.
Yeah, it is a strength and a weakness.
Yeah,
yes.
What you're saying essentially is that they are confident.
Interject.
Yes, in Sibidi, with due respect, when you're talking about the average Igbo person in Sibidi, I made this on a super chat yesterday. The Igbo man from the southeast who grew up in the west is a totally different and detribalized Nigerian from the core Igbo people who were born and raised in Igbo land. So I don't think you're in the position to talk that much, because you have two mentalities. You grew up in Yoruba land, you speak Yoruba, your education is primarily Western Nigeria, but your bloodline is Igbo. So it's not you that should be talking. You need a core Igbo person to address that space. With due respect.
All right. Hold on. Have your interjection in CBD, but I want to move swiftly away from that space. So have that interjection, then I'll move Alexander to another space. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that as much as people will say that the average Nigerian does not feel comfortable and all that, I think it was just some of the ideology, some of the narrative that they pushed to the Nigerian people after the Civil War. Because you see, that's why up to today you find some people from some, Igbo sub-tribes, or should I say Igbo-related groups, or even Igbos from the South. Some of them will still try to, hold on to that, okay, we are not exactly Igbo. It's just what they pushed then so that, and also, so for people who feel like for them to fit in to the Nigerian state, narrative and all that, for them to benefit from the system, that they have to kind of disassociate themselves a bit from the Igbos. So I don't believe that it has anything to do with whether they are domineering or they. I don't believe all that, because I believe that everybody wants to work hard, everybody wants to be successful. So, and especially outside Nigeria, I don't see it at all, with all due respect. And I'm someone that have been in, I think I can say that I'm among the panelists here. I'm probably among those, if not the only one, that have been to
The most
several
traveled.
countries in.
Yeah, the most
No,
traveled
no,
out of
no. I'm just
yes.
talking of. I'm saying, I've been to several parts of Africa, more than most. So, and I don't see it totally. In fact, if I say this, maybe some people will take it wrongly. I've seen a lot of, especially when I was in the southern part of Africa, and even East Africa. I've seen quite a number of ladies that, if you're talking about they want to get married, it might be unrelated. The first thing, you won't even ask them. They'll say they want a Nigerian,
An
but
Igbo man.
probably there's this narrative that some people are pushing. I don't know if it's the Yoruba demo, whatever, and some other narrative some people push. So it makes them to feel like they don't they say, no, I don't want a Yoruba demon, I want an Igbo man.
No,
So
no, no.
that's
You know why? It's because the Southeasterners, they're the most handsome. That's really why, It's because you
no,
guys are so
I'm not.
handsome. Eh?
No, one man. I don't want to go into that. I mean, I don't believe in those
Look at
things.
this
But what
guy.
I'm trying
Eh?
to say is that
All right.
I respect Alexander's
make
stand.
it succinct. I need to head out for a meeting
Okay,
so I
sorry,
can
sorry,
address
sir.
the next issue.
Sorry, let me just one
All
man,
right.
wait, man.
I think you made the point. Okay, round it off in CBD.
Yeah, let me just round it up. I'm not. I understand what he's saying. Like I said, I believe that is mostly for political and economic reasons that some people try to back in the day. I see it dying out right now, but I don't believe it's anything to do with their nature of domineering and all that.
All right, brilliant. Well put. So thank you, CBD. Alexander, let me move you from that space very swiftly. Our court refuses to accept Governor Umahi's as senatorial candidate, which is good, but then they've ordered a rerun. So that rerun, does it still open the window for Umahi to still get that ticket? Is the question.
Yeah, it does. It does. These are just political shenanigans. He's going to win the ticket at the end of the day. He's going to be the senator at the end of the day. Who has been a governor in Nigeria that has not eventually become a senator after his reign, even including Rochas Okorocha. Rochas Okorocha, my brother, my good brother, who I actually adore because of his detribalized personality. They took the Rochas Okorocha and the CBD talking are from the same place. They took his they withdrew his certificate of whatever they call it in Nigeria away from him, and he said when they have the time they'll bring it over to me and they will install me as a senator, and that was exactly what they did. The same thing is going to happen to Dave Omai. He's going to make a couple of calls. They're going to have a rerun, and he's going to win. And this is just rubbish. It doesn't even worth anyone addressing it, because at the end of the day, we know what's going to come out of it. Yeah.
The system in Nigeria is quite laughable. But
Yes,
everything
it
is
is.
laughable in Nigeria,
Yes.
Alexander. From
Yeah.
620 to 500 to 658, the Nigerian currency within 1 week, not even a week, 5 days. It's quite alarming. I don't know the percentages, but that's almost what an 8 to 10% depreciation in just 5 days.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Where are we going, Alexander?
It's the weakness in the economy. The economy is not doing very well. We're not exporting anything. Our standard of living is crumbling. We're not producing anything. We are basically an importation country. Ghana used to be like that in the 80s. That's why the currency went all the way to I think 2,000 or 3,000 or 15,000 cedis to a pound. I know that space very well. So that's where we are right now. We need, in conclusion, because I have to run for a meeting. In conclusion, we need, like I said, I don't care about Muslim ticket. I don't care about a dog and a cat ticket. I care about the people who would come and take us to where we belong, make us the great black country that we were in the past, be able to elevate alleviate the poverty of the land. What people are going through right now is unthinkable. The kind of suffering that people are going through. People can't eat. There's no money in the system. I get calls every day. That's because some person who's a middle level manager in an accountant general can steal $108 billion. And the sad thing about it is that $108 billion is the tip of the iceberg. They steal this money every day at the peril of the people. So it's sad. So we need a soludo. We need people who know what they're talking about. We need people who can sit down with the international community and talk their game. We really, really, really don't need the Atikus of this world and the Tinubus of this world. Even Obi is not equal to the task. Nigeria is a complex nation. It's one of the richest countries in the world on paper by her human and natural resources. One of the richest countries in the world. But right now it's referred to as the poverty country of the world. And that's because of bad management. So we just need able people to come take over the space and turn the country into the great country it used to be, one man. So let me go, one man, because before I get fired.
All right, brilliant. Thank you for joining us. So that was Alexander Gomez. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for yielding the space, Baba Kure. So let's come to Baba Kure now. So you saw that video clip, wanted by the Nigerian state, easily found by the BBC. What are the security forces doing? Baba Kure, and this is the Nigeria we have now.
Thank you very much, woman, for having me this morning. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. That video is a very funny one, anyway. It happens that is the society we find ourselves. That is Nigeria. When something happens, we always cover up our kingsmen, our tribesmen. When they do something wrong, we always try to cover them up. And the same thing is just happening now. Is it in Zamfara or Kaduna?
Yeah, the guy was banned in Zamfara,
okay,
but he's wanted for massacre in Katsina.
In Katsina, okay. So you can see now that that is what we always experience in Nigeria. So it's a very bad thing that unknown village, because it is unknown we are having right now, unknown village in Nigeria, that guy, because they cannot tell us that they are not aware of him being requesting for arrest in Katsina State. But you see, everybody just defend their own indigene. They defend themselves. So that is what is going on there. So, and it happens across Nigeria anyway. It's just that this particular guy, the horrific crime that he committed, that is why we are talking about it now. There are some certain things that is even happening, like issue of all these politicians when they steal our money. And then we go to Oyo State and go and get chieftaincy. Look at the I know it might not I may likely little bit deviate, but I'm still still taking it on the same path. How we always cover our own. So this miscreant, they will all the way from north. They will go to Lagos State Ondo State or your state and get a chieftaincy, or they go to Anambra State to get chieftaincy. So we cover them. So how many of Yoruba people go to jail for being siphon government money? We remember the issue of Bode George. What do they do? Because he's Yoruba, they use a drum to welcome him from jail. What happened to Ojus Okalu? The same thing. So that is the society that we live in, and that is why we are not getting it right, because everybody always cover their own indigene, not to be prosecuted. Look at Abba Kyari now. They want him in United States. What do? They keep him in prison because they don't want him to go. But there's another guy that defrauded some people in US, just not even quite a few months. Boom, they sent him to US. So that is the society we live in. That's the society we live in. That's my take on that, one man.
Yeah, thank you, Baba Kure. It's just the double standard of it is quite alarming. So to the space, the Ukraine invasion, European Union to replace gas from Russia with Nigeria. So it looks as though another round of a wolf coming Nigeria's way.
Well, thank you very much, one man. Like because I'm going to make it very snappy. There is a lot of reaction to that. Number one, even if they do that, are we going to really benefit from it? I don't see that. Then this is how it's going to affect us. You see the masses that are still making noise right now that they don't have gas. You will see a lot of queue in the gas station, because Nigeria want to make money for themselves. Not even Nigeria, elites, politicians, they want to make money for themselves. Particularly this administration, they will try to get as many dollars they can get and put in their pocket. Not about benefit to benefit Nigeria, but to benefit themselves. So those who are going to benefit are the elite politicians. So it's nothing, and masses is going to suffer for it, because the gas is going to be much more expensive. It is going to be much more expensive, and they will prefer to supply gas to, petrol to Europe rather than provide that petrol to Nigerian citizens. That is what is going to happen. It is good if we have a very good government. It is good, like I think Professor Abolaji on Arise TV the other day, he said this Ukrainian war, it will benefit some people and it will not benefit some people. That this is the time for Nigeria to make as much money they can make, and that is what is going on right now. But are we going to benefit from it? I don't see that, because we don't have leader. We only have chiefs. That is my take on that.
All right, brilliant, Abakure. So let me take you to the space. You say we don't benefit from it. We'll certainly suffer from it. 620 naira. I think you were here when we were doing the 620 naira storyline. And fast forward, 658 naira now. We were somewhat joking that the naira before the end of the year will be exchanging for 1,000 to $1. Should we revise that now to 1,500 to the dollar at this rate?
One man, you're a bad man, right?
I mean, look at from 620 within 5 days to 660.
No, actually, you must be a prophet of this platform, because you already said that. I think earlier this year you said that before the end of the year, the way you are saying is that naira may of course go to 1,000, and I debunked it. I said no, it won't go to that, but I think it's going to that way right now. Like you rightly said, even me, when I check Canadian exchange rates on the website, within that few days, it was online. It was 474 to naira. Then yesterday, when I was checking it, it was about 500 to one Canadian dollar to 500 naira. So, and I said, what is going on here? Why are we here? Is because we do not have those who are serious, excuse me, it is because we don't have those who are serious about Nigeria economy. Are we talking about Emefiele, who doesn't even have sense?
Is that the police? Have they come for you, Baba Akure?
Oh, for where police, I'm safe here.
Sorry, carry on here.
Okay, so are we talking about Emefiele, who doesn't even know what he's doing? I can't even remember how many times this man has already devalued Nigeria currency. So, like I said the other day, anytime IMF is giving you money, it's always bounced back on your currency. They will be dictating for you how to run your currency. If you are so corrupt and you don't know what you are doing, that is how you end up in a lot of debt. So there is a lot of countries that stand against that. I reference to Caribbean island, Antigua to be precise. There was a time IMF give them money and they want them to devalue their currency because their currency is 2.65 to 1 US. IMF want them to put it to like a 3 point something. They said no, this is what we want, and they stand on that. What is the population of that place? Less than 120,000 people. They can stand and maintain their currency. And what are they producing? Tourism country. But we have everything because we don't have those who have sense in the power. That is why our currency is just like a Idi Amin of Uganda said that you call Uganda shit money, so our money is now shit money. So and it's going to be like that probably maybe until like after election. But are we benefiting from it? I will of course say it is two ways to it. You might send $1,000 and it is $1,000 is 600,000 in Nigeria. But what are you going to buy with that 600,000? Nothing. When you check the price of things in the market, that is when you will see that whatever you send is nothing. It might be big like that. Oh, well, you give somebody 100,000, you think it's money. It is nothing because you couldn't even buy anything. Right now, you want to buy one load of sand. Now you know how much is that. So it is big.
You know, I feel sorry for the people that are building now.
Exactly, but the point is that if you have your money, just continue doing whatever you want to do, because you cannot rely on the economy of Nigeria and what Nigeria is giving back to you. I could remember in 2017 when I was doing one little bungalow. I said, there's some people say, oh no, don't rush it, don't do it. I said, well, we see when I have my money, I want to do what I have to do, because Nigeria, where anything goes up, it never go back down. That is it. What I did at that time now, if you want to do it now, you are talking about ×5. So that's saying that you are pitying those who are whatever. If you have your money, just do it, because you cannot predict Nigerian market. That is it. That is it.
All right, brilliant. So thank you, Baba Akure. So for reasons of time, let me go on from you, Baba Akure, and let me go to Ajanle Koko, who's still with us. So Ajanle Koko, are you still there?
So are we having a platform today or not?
Oh, you mean later on?
Yeah.
No, yes, we will. You know.
All right.
Why?
By God's grace.
All right, brilliant. All right. I thought you had a special package for us, but no. If you have anything you want us to discuss, just send it to me via Instagram. Then I'll put it up.
All right, no problem.
All right, brilliant. So let me go on to Ajanle Koko. So thank you, Baba Akure. So Ajanle Koko, to the topics. Let me kick you off then with the Naira. I mean, I think we are underplaying the significance of this. From 620 within 5 days to 658. I mean, that is, we are heading towards Argentina, we're heading towards Zimbabwe, and we're going there at speed.
Thank you, woman. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are around the world, please click on the like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Woman, it is alarming that Naira continue to go down every day. It's shocking that within a week, Naira lost 50 Naira, 50 Naira in value. And what this tells us is that it's not going to stop. There's nothing to show that this Naira will be stabilizing, because it's losing value fast every day, continue to lose value. So, and the implication of this is that cost of living will continue to go high, and standard of living will continue to go low. And we are going to find a situation where Nigerian workers and Nigerian people will be put into poverty. Nigerian people will suffer it and, go down poverty lane. And you will have a situation where Nigerian workers who doesn't have their salary increase, and the little that they earn, more of it will be chasing few items. And Nigerian workers will be in a situation where they'll be working for nothing. They'll be working, and the money they make cannot sustain their living. And what does that mean? That means they're going to go down in poverty. And when people in the country, majority of people go down in poverty in the country as big as our own, that country cannot economically survive, because how would this tax? How would they be able to raise tax when their currency continue to lose value every day? So it's so bad, and the manufacturing sector will be affected badly as well, because most of the manufacturing sector, even though they are going through hard time now, you will have a situation where their raw material that they import from outside the country, the value of Naira, they have to spend more to purchase forex to import raw material. And when they import that raw material, and the finished product, the price of the finished product will be so high that it will remain unbearable to the Nigerians to purchase. And when you have what used to be of maybe 10,000 before, now increases to like 50,000, and people cannot buy it, it's going to affect the manufacturing. When the manufacturing will possibly close down, and when they close down, the worker will lose their job, and then they will go down in poverty. So Nigerian workers, Nigerian people in general, are going to feel the heat of this devaluation of our currency. It's so bad that a lot of companies are going down now. A lot of manufacturing brands are going down because of purchasing diesel, which is the source of firing manufacturing plants now, is so high already now that some of the poultry industry are closing down, because most of the their food for poultry are imported, and some of the thing it's so bad that the manufacturing sector will be hit, A lot of companies will close down. We're already seeing it. Even bank in Nigeria are not operating at the, they cut down their hours of operation. Radio stations have cut down the hours of their operation. Television services have cut down the hours of their operation. And it's telling us that we have economic doom ahead of us. It's unfortunate that we have people in position of power that doesn't care about managing the economy of that country well in the interest of Nigerian people. So, and we outside the country as well, we suffer the effect because most of us send money home, and that money that we send home, even though that it looked favorable to us in exchange, but to our people back home, it doesn't. It doesn't. What they used to buy, they have to spend more to buy it. The cost of living, cost of food, cost of gas, cost of transportation, cost of everything has gone up, and there's nothing to show that we are going to get out of this in the future, or shortly, or rather in the future. It doesn't. There's nothing to show for it, and the doom economic time is ahead of Nigeria, and we should all prepare for it. That's what I see. One more.
All right, brilliant. And Ajanle Koko, to the Dave Umahi space, give us just a brief commentary on that. Dave Umahi, the court opens up the window for him to get that ticket again. What are your thoughts on that?
Dave Umahi, if Dave Umahi is playing with fire. It's playing with fire. And what I mean by playing with fire is that the new electoral law does not permit him to contest for two different positions, to have nomination for two different positions at the same time. This is what he has done. So, like I said before, Femi Falana came on air and clarified that yesterday. INEC man came on air and clarified that yesterday. But these politicians, being what they are always desperate to remain in power so that they will continue to loot the resources of the country. So they will never listen. But I'm telling you, Femi Falana and some others are ready for them. The guy that, since Umahi brother stepped down, the second in line in the primary is the one that should be given the ticket to contest, but not to organize another primary in order to favor the governor. So that by itself is a manipulation of the process, which can be challenged by the guy that is second in line during the primary. And on top of that, the violation of the law for buying two tickets, two nominations at the same time, await him to go and serve 2 years in jail. So he should go ahead and let's go and test the law at the new electoral law and the law court. Let the court interpret it so that this can serve as a lesson to others. So that's the way I see it. One man, Umahi is on the way to jail, and that will be good for Nigeria if it's caught up by the new electoral law.
All right, brilliant. And to the bandit wanted in Katsina being banned in Zamfara, law and order Nigeria style, Ajanle Koko.
One man, it's unfortunate that we found ourselves in this state of the insecurity in that country. These notorious bandit leader has killed a lot of people. But here we are. in Zamfara State. It's been declared as wanted by Katsina State, but in Zamfara State, an emirate has banned him, honor him. That is the way it is in Nigeria. Nigerian honor criminals. Nigerian state honor criminals and dishonorable people. Most of the people you see in position of power, do they deserve to be there? But they are there because this is what Nigerian state represent. Nigerian state honor criminals and dishonorable people. So this guy now, the emir of that emirate has been suspended by the governor, and the emir in his own statement said that because Nigerian state failed to secure them, to guarantee security of life and property, and in an order to save his people from being killed incessantly by this criminal, that is why he entered into deal with this guy in order to leave them alone and for them not to be killed, because Nigerian state cannot kill. Cannot secure their security, cannot guarantee their security. The governor of Zamfara recently, as we may recall, called on everybody in that state to do everything to defend themselves. He even called on them to go and get gun. I think you remember that woman.
Yes.
He called on everybody to go and get gun and get whatever they can get to defend themselves. And that is what exactly this guy has done. He, as the governor of that state, has entered into the bush several times to strike a deal with this criminal, to give them ransom and to strike a deal with them, give them money, but these people never stop. So who is at fault here? Who failed who? Who is criminal? Everybody is guilty of this. That emirate, that emir is just following the footsteps of the governor. What could he do? It's unfortunate that you have to honor that guy, but he didn't want to lose his emirate, because we have seen so many emirs that have been killed. Their emirate were massacred. People were killed like chicken, and property were lost and people were driven out. We have seen it. Who is guilty of this? It's the Nigerian state. So it's unfortunate that we have this kind of situation happening in our country, and it doesn't look like we have the capacity to secure our people in that country anymore. This is what it's telling us. Nigerian state cannot secure Nigerian people, cannot guarantee security for life and property, and people will have to cut deal with criminals in order to remain safe. Nigeria is falling down the line of some of these North American countries, like what's the name of this country? All these countries next to Mexico,
Al Capone and the rest of them,
and all of them, where gangsters are the one in control all over in that country. Even in the government services, they control government apparatuses, all these criminals. So it's just unfortunate that we are falling into that situation. It's unfortunate. Let's see how they're going to try this man. I know they might remove him, but his defense, his defense, does it not? What do we want him? What do we expect from him to do? He doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't have the capability. He doesn't have anything to guarantee safety of his emirate, But he can't deal with criminal. Please leave me alone. Okay, I will give you time. He just to have title. Just take this thing and leave our people to remain safe so that they can go to their farm and do and remain safe. If we have a security, if you have a situation where Nigeria can guarantee life, guarantee security of life and property, this man cannot do what he has done. But we are falling into such a state that is not secure, and the people that are in control of the security, because those guys, those criminals are the one in control of the security. So this Emaya struck deal with them in order to guarantee security of life and property in their state. So that's the way I see it. It's unfortunate. I don't support it, but that guy have no other choice. That's the only thing he could do in order to save his life and the life of his people in the Samari.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. Well put, Ajale Koko. So, Ajale Koko, for reasons of time, let me go on from you to Saki, who's been waiting patiently for his turn. So, Saki, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. One man, the great. One man, the great.
Good to have you, Saki father. So, thank you, Saki, for being with us. Like everyone else, are you alarmed at the rapid rate with which the Naira is falling? And are you also with everyone that it will be 1,000 before the end of the year?
Yes, I'm quite alarmed, and it is a regrettable condition in a very sane country. You know, that CBN governor should just resign, and we get somewhere that is more effective, you know, in handling this situation. He obviously lacks the capacity from all evidence. And when all these things are happening, he even had the guts to go and purchase presidential nomination form. So that is the level of insanity in our country. So in the same country, I expect him to just resign because the economy is collapsing very well. You know, people are suffering. Even if you send somebody, what do we call it, $100 today to Nigeria, which is about 60-something thousand, it doesn't buy anything. You just buy one or two things, you know. It doesn't really buy anything. So it's quite. I'm quite alarmed, honestly. You know, and it keeps rising. People are predicting that before December it will hit 1,000, and I don't argue about that. So that's my submission on that.
All right. Thank you, Saki. So I'm not sure if you've ever heard of a French woman called Baroness Muscat. Well, she's the one that wrote the Scarlet Pimpernel. So Baroness Muscat. And they seek him here, they seek him there, they seek him everywhere, the Scarlet Pimpernel. Yeah. So the Scarlet Pimpernel, so this guy now, a notorious bandit and a killer, they seek him.
I'm very much annoyed. I don't want to talk about that very particular space. It's quite annoying.
It's too depressing, Abi.
It's very annoying, honestly.
Okay, maybe you find this equally depressing. The United Nations invites the immediate unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu and in addition compensation paid. So that is the order, but will it be carried out by a bookie from that?
Yeah, that's the order. I heard what in CBD. CBD is an Igbo man, right? But that name CBD doesn't have any meaning in Igbo land. I don't know the meaning of it.
No, that's not his real name. I think it's the name of something or the other. Yeah.
Okay. I heard what he said about that. So the United Nations have done what they are expected to do. You know, the Nigerian government violated all international laws in a bid to get Nnamdi Kanu to book. So, but they have done what they needed to do. But when I was reading that decision, you know, it is a mere opinion. You know, United Nations, Nigeria is a sovereign country. You cannot tell Nigeria this is what you must do. But in the opinion of those human rights, whatever, United Nations. So I think it's a mere opinion that Nigeria should do this. They should release Nnamdi Kanu immediately, you know, unconditionally. And that is what they are supposed to do. But the question is, based on evidence and historical facts, does Nigeria obey this kind of rules, this kind of instruction? I doubt. I doubt whether Nigerian government will obey these directive. I'm quite much in doubt. But if they do that, this is going to be a welcome development. But on this issue of whether Nnamdi Kanu is going to stop agitation or not, I don't see him stopping agitation. Nnamdi Kanu has lost a lot of things in this struggle. He has lost his mother. He has lost his father. He lost 28 people in his compound. His compound was raided. He lost his dog. He lost a lot of things in that very struggle. And the Nigerian soldiers has pursued him in a hot pursuit, up to like going to Kenya to bring him back. So I don't think he has any reasons to stop the agitation. Even if he's released unconditionally, he will still keep on pushing what he's pushing. But then the narrative that almost all Igbos are supporting the Biafran separation, is not true. There are some Igbos many Igbos are not in support of that. Some are also in support of that, but not all. So, but expecting him to stop the agitation, I don't expect him to do that. He has to continue.
All right. Well put. So briefly on this, Saki Fada, court refuses to accept Umahi as senatorial candidate in Ebonyi
Yeah.
or as
Yes.
first election. So on that, Saki.
Yeah, in order not to waste much of your time on that very court decision, we can see how our court system is complicit in most of these travesty they do when it comes to justice. So I don't expect the courts, because the law is clear. As a common man, I've read that very electoral law and I've read the provisions. It's very, very clear in one of the sections that if you have participated in a primary, you cannot participate in another primary in the same election cycle. So if you do that, you have to go for 2 years jail term. So I don't see why a judge, knowing all these things, will come to say, okay, you are not qualified, we cancel this very poll, but we have to have like a new poll. Why are we having new poll? You are paving way for Omai to clinch that ticket. So it is not necessary trying to say that there will be new poll. What I expect to do is, Omai, you are not qualified. Your brother that got that very ticket resigned. The rational thing to do is just the second person should just take the ticket. Why are we conducting new polls? So all these things they are just doing is just to try to find a way. But it will get at.
Do you remember back in the day, Saki, wuru wuru to the answer. So this is wuru wuru to the answer now.
Yeah. So all this is they are talking about. There is a loophole in that very system they are trying to exploit. There is no loophole. The law is very clear. It is very, very clear to the blind, visible to the blind, and very audible to the deaf. It's very, very clear. Everybody can see it. If you have participated in a primary in a particular election, you are not allowed to participate in another primary. So there is no way they will go around it that it will favor this guy. Don't worry, when this happens, people like Femi Falana, who I respect so much, legal luminary I respect so much, Femi Falana will come and fight this very case pro bono. People like Ulisa Wakoba, them, they will come out and fight this pro bono. This impunity cannot continue. I don't even want any political or mathematical permutation that will bring somebody like the Senate president back. I don't want to see that man again back. Any
because
political
if they
office
open the window for Umahi, then that window opens for Lawan too.
Yes. I don't want to see that kind of person again in the political space. I just want him to be irrelevant in the political space because this is the worst Senate president we have ever produced in the history of Nigeria, in my own opinion anyway. So I don't know for other people's opinion. So that's my take there.
All right, brilliant. Well put.
That's
So
what I think.
thank you, Saki. So Saki, still plenty more topics to run you through, but sadly we've run out of time. We've hit the 3-hour mark, which is for a 2-hour session. I think we are pushing the log. But please join us if you can in the evening session. So one and all that applies as well to Saki and others. Join us if you can. 9:15 rather p.m. UK
I
time.
will always come to the space. The space is quite
yes.
educative.
This is home for you already now. So no
Yeah.
nowhere for you to go anymore. This is it.
Yes.
So thank you, Saki, Ajanle Koko Thomas, Baba Akure, and one and all that came on the screen. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on within the comment section, but here I say peace.